You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others crawl, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega na endesho de.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe
country where we talk about implementation of Constitution 2010, which is a very important guiding document. I think it is important to try somebody who has the capacity. At my level of senior counsel, for example, Kenyans would be amazed if I was not to be a stickler for the rule of law, because that's what is important.
All right.
And therefore, I think we are better placed. One of the things I did, Mariam, was to spearhead as National Organizing Secretary of KANU for 12 years. Yeah, when the opportunity arose for me as National Organizing Secretary to steer a debate to move from what had become a de jure one-party state in law, and everybody was feeling it. You remember the infamous Q voting and all that kind of stuff? I then took the liberty. I felt I needed to do that. And then after that, of course, we amended the famous Section 2A of the Constitution to return this country to pluralism. I played a critical role in that. Even then, about that time, I was Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. So from my role as Deputy Speaker, I think I did something. And more importantly, standing beside iconic President Mwai Kibaki as his Vice President, the 10th edition of our country's Vice President. When President Kibaki needed a hand, some pair of hands he could trust. Because when you are the number 2, they say you are heartbeat from the presidency, right? And I was handling a senior leader, President Kibaki, who had gone through a terrible accident, even when he took over in 2002. And after the clashes of 2007, and then he had now to get a second term, he needed somebody he could trust. We handed this country Constitution 2010. That was significant. And if you had your records and see my speech at Uhuru Park when we were inaugurating Constitution 2010, then you see, yes, this man feels it. I felt this was an important contribution. But of course, the role I played in shepherding various other aspects. I was minister in so many ministries. So as I talk about experience, first of all, I started for 1 year. After I won in 85, I was a backbencher. I was appointed Assistant Minister for Works, Public Works and Housing by President Moi. And then I was also Deputy Speaker. Then I was Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister for Education, Minister for Tourism and Information, Minister for the Environment, second time Foreign Minister, then Vice President. It becomes very interesting. I told my team to update my CV, and they find it extremely difficult. If I tell you I addressed the UN General Assembly a record 7 times, including once at the Security Council, that international exposure I think is also what I've contributed. I was the face of the country.
Right, hello there, people of the internet. My name is GACHAGUA'S, and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 in the evening. In the city of glasses. I am in the studio with Mr. Odhiambo Tieno. People of the internet, you remember yesterday there was so many flaring emotions. We went really tribal, and I think as a Bukusu who is here, he's going to nitpick what you said yesterday. Mr. Mundalo, thank you very much for honoring my invitation to come this evening.
Anytime.
You look amazing.
Thank you very much.
That's called a half coat.
Waistcoat.
Odhiambo
is better with the names.
Yeah. But I hear about a half coat. Where does it come from, though?
Half coats are more high school like.
Mm-hmm. More high school.
Yeah.
You know windbreaker.
A windbreaker. The one that does like this when the wind flares.
No. Windbreaker is also very British. It sort of looks like, but it's a heavier material.
Yeah.
It's a windbreaker.
Yeah.
This is high quality.
Very, very nice.
Usi.
Yeah. And what is on your lapel? Is that a lapel? What is?
That's a lapel. Yeah, I have a Versace lapel tonight.
Versace.
Yeah. Versace.
Yeah. That's a brand name, right?
Yeah, it's a brand name.
Expensive.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I love Versace because it signifies the highest level amongst the highest level of cladding.
Of cladding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what I'm looking. I want to put on very serious. Things
expensive.
Very.
Yeah, stately.
In the future.
Yeah. Ruto supporter like.
He wants to wear like he's paid.
Yeah, I want to wear like I'm paid.
Like a what?
Like I'm paid.
Yeah.
In my consultancy.
Like you're paid.
Yeah. Not in political propaganda. I know where it's going.
I didn't understand about that.
No. But what is your problem?
No, I don't have a problem.
He's agreeing with you and immediately you disagree with him.
I'm not disagreeing with him. I just said I agree with him.
No, but why are you qualifying? Why are you trying to qualify his statement?
I have to. He's a propagandist like me.
Anyway, we have got children here.
Well.
We are not going to ask how much your waistcoat is.
It's in a very nice suit.
Actually, it's very good.
It's very good.
His coloring is...
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's actually a three-piece suit. Tailored.
Tailored?
Yes.
What does tailored mean?
It means it's to your measurement.
To your measurement. Yeah. It's not the same Nagalut.
Not the same Nagalut, the one that you get in the market, no?
All right. Yeah. So people of the internet, today we are going to be talking about Ruto at 4. So Ruto decided, Mr. Gachagua, former deputy prime minister, deputy president, gave a long press conference, 1 hour 50 minutes. Almost the size of the length of the interview that Mr. Musyoka did yesterday. And he talked about a lot of things that he believes is wrong with this government, and he needs to change them when he takes over the leadership of this country come 2027. And I'm trying to read what Mundalo wrote on the internet, but I can't see it. He said something to the effect that whoever listen to that interview for the length, for the full length.
The 1 hour, 30 minutes interview.
Yeah.
It was sick.
It was sick.
According to him, yeah.
According to him?
He's here.
No, he said that whoever watched the whole interview deserves an award.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Mr. Mundalo, I probably want to start with you, but Mr. Osiemo.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah. This is the last time you came over here, and you told me that you'd like to join, one of our discussions and talk.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what is he going to say? Another Gen Z, another problem for us.
Gen Z are always problems for everyone.
On the panel, but I was watching you when I was coming from Kisumu, and it was well done. Odhiambo, I could see Odhiambo nodding, giving you your respect, and thank you very much.
I love him very much.
You love him very much
because he's a very sober guy.
Yeah.
His perspectives are not just young. His perspectives are wholesome.
All right. He's like Nyanduga.
I don't know Nyanduga.
Nyanduga is the guy that you were squabbling with here. You actually were You remember? No, it was actually this gentleman that was taking Nyanduga on a very rough patch and was insisting that Nyanduga has to apologize for saying something that is untrue. You remember?
Oh, yeah. The gentleman from JQuat.
A gentleman from JQuat. Yeah.
But he's good.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's good.
You know why perhaps Mundalo can do that to them.
Yeah.
And me I cannot.
No. But Mundalo was not. It was okay. I mean, he attacked Mundalo.
He attacked Mundalo.
Yes, he attacked Mundalo, and Mundalo had to come out defending himself vigorously and viciously.
He came with a hammer.
Yes.
And did it.
Yeah.
In a fist fight.
And
Mundalo
insisted that the podcast is not going on until he clarifies.
Very good. I like
and
that.
gives evidence.
Yeah. Such good.
In the rare circumstances where I come with a hammer.
Yeah.
Ordinarily I don't.
No, you don't. You're a very good man.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Who are you?
My name is Osiemo.
Okay.
I'm a law student. First of all, I'm equally a proponent of community-based solutions.
Okay.
It's not always about complaining, but what are you offering as a solution to the problems that we are facing?
All right.
So that's majorly what I do. But equally, I'm also into finance. It's
Finance.
a topic that I really understand well.
Okay.
And I'm passionate about it because you cannot have dignity of any person without financial freedom.
Okay.
But we can get that to on a later time.
All right.
Yeah.
How is the government? What is your summation of government of His Excellency the President Dr. William Samoei Ruto in the last 4 years?
Okay, from where I see it, I see a government that is fighting for its life.
Okay.
Because governments in power run on their track record of what they have delivered to the people.
Okay.
And equally, you don't need to shout from morning to evening what you've delivered to the people. The people can be able to see what you've delivered unto them. So it is just a chain of propaganda, day in, day out, saying
from the government.
Yeah, saying everything but doing nothing at the end of the day.
Okay.
So we're just looking forward to the next 12 months so that we see where else can we go as a country.
So that means that you're a one-term person.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your presidential candidate?
My preferred presidential candidate. As it stands, I would support Edwin Sifuna.
Edwin Sifuna?
Yes.
What is wrong with your tribesman?
Nothing wrong with him particularly, but you don't get what you deserve in life.
Okay.
You get what you work for.
All right.
Yes.
And you don't believe that Matiang'i is working for it?
I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced?
Yes.
Fair enough. That's great. Mr. Odhiambo.
Yes.
I want to go to Mr. Mundalo and ask him about Sifuna, Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka. He said something that was very bad for the people that support Kalonzo Musyoka, and I'm wondering, well, I also watched the interview. I've got my reservations about it, but Mr. Mundalo, from a communication standpoint and from the side of politics and how you want to take a country, what did he miss? And he keeps missing it, right?
Very many times, until sometimes I'm scared about talking about it, because at some point we look like we are launching attacks on him, but when he comes out to speak, we really have to talk about what he did. And when I look at that interview by Kalonzo Musyoka, why I said that everyone who watched it deserves an award is because it would be very hard to sit through those 2 hours, because there was literally nothing intriguing about it. There was nothing exciting. And at every invitation for him to outline an agenda, a plan for the people, it didn't come out. It was neither here nor there. Even the people who were interviewing him, you would be able to sense that they were having a hard time, because he was not necessarily answering their questions. He was hijacking their questions midway, creating his and answering them.
Okay.
And that's why I say that anyone who really put across 2 hours to watch must really be awarded, because it was a difficult 2 hours, not just for the viewer, but even for the person who was actually watching it. Remember, Jagero, when you are coming out to speak to Kenyans and you're a presidential candidate, there are actually 2 things people want to hear from you when you're Kalonzo Musyoka. One, they want to hear, what did you do in the past that makes you the best now? With a 40-year track record that has been canvassed and said every now and then. And 2, they want to hear, what do you have as a plan for them based on your experience about the future? Now, it was rather unfortunate that he could not be able to one. And this question was asked by the Gen Z on the panel. The Gen Z on the panel is the one who asked, how did you do in your time in office? And then Kalonzo proceeds to read to read out a litany of titles he has held. He says, I was Minister of Environment, Minister of Roads, Minister of this, and then I became Vice President. And then he says, it would be interest you to know that I actually spoke at the UN General Assembly 7 times.
Okay.
And the Gen Z is wondering, how does that change this country? The Gen Z is wondering, is that an achievement?
Yeah.
The Gen Z is then wondering, what is this gentleman talking about, the things that he has achieved? And he says, you see, I was one of the people who escorted Wangari Maathai to go and pick the Nobel.
Okay.
And someone
that was an achievement for Kalonzo Musyoka.
And that was really an achievement for him. So someone is not able to see. And then when it comes to even the cornerstone of the conversation about, okay, fine, let us abandon the past. Can we talk about the future? So what are you planning to do? He says SHA is not working. He's asked, so how do you fix it?
Yeah.
He says, I don't know, we'll have to audit it first.
Okay.
So when you say you'll have to audit SHA first, someone wonders, how did you know it's not working when you have not even done the audit? He's asked, what will you do in your first day in office?
Okay.
And he blabbers around it. He says he'll start by fighting corruption. Literally, there was nothing tangible that someone could be able to point at. And 3 times the panel kept asking the same question. What is the tangible thing that you are planning to do? At some point, he says that the cost of dying has gone up. I don't know. You say you watched that interview.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you heard that. So the reality is that in terms of anything measurable and tangible, that someone who is planning to vote like my brother who is saying he's in 1 term would be able to look for and say, because of this reason, I would want to vote Kalonzo Musyoka. It actually does not come out. And even the demeanor in terms of just, can you just be able to come out as a person who has a plan that is effective for the country? And I think one of the easiest ways, I think, for these people to be beaten in this election is just for them to go for interviews. I think so. Because every time they go for interviews, they expose themselves more than they help themselves. So I think it was quite a pathetic one from Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. I wish that he does much better next time.
Yeah. Mr. Osiemo.
Yes.
Help me with this part. This pink one. The other one. That one. Yeah. I want to ask you a question. Just before Kalonzo Musyoka,
yes,
a week ago or 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
your presidential candidate was on TV,
yes,
doing citizen interview with the choir, I believe.
Yes, Yvonne.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the one for Kalonzo.
I haven't watched the one for Kalonzo.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay, fine, but you know Kalonzo.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, do you like him as Do you like him as a person? Do you vote for him? What are some of the things that come to your head when somebody, talks about him as a presidential candidate?
Okay, I don't believe as a presidential candidate there's a need for me to like you.
Okay.
But there is a need for me to see that with you there is a possibility of a tomorrow. That
over tomorrow.
There is a future of tomorrow.
Probably that is, my English is not sufficient. That's probably what I'm asking.
That you can clearly articulate yourself that this is where we are as a country. This is what we need to do to get where we need to be. And have a candid conversation, and that comes out very clearly. So for Kalonzo Musyoka, I genuinely don't see a president in him as a person. He doesn't have the vigor of a president. I don't feel him.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with the man. But you can't go around and saying in 40 years that you're in government, you never stole public resources. But then the question is, just yesterday I learned that he was the vice president between 2006 and 2013.
Okay.
I actually didn't know that. So I'm like, okay, so you've been Minister for Foreign Affairs, all those titles. What can you say that you were able to deliver to Kenyans?
Okay.
I don't think he can be able to articulate anything. So when you look at a situation where we are in as a country, we are in a dire situation because in as much as the people in government want to lull into a false sense of security,
okay,
we are at a bad situation, especially economically.
All right.
I foresee a situation whereby this country government can default on its bonds.
Okay.
And that can affect anybody who has their money in any bank in Kenya. So anybody who is elected president has to face the economic question.
Yeah.
At day one.
So then that takes me to your presidential candidate.
Yes.
At Citizen TV.
Yes.
How does he answer the economic questions?
Well, he gave a very candid answer.
Okay.
That he recognized that we are at a bad place.
Okay.
And that there is a need for them to develop a plan and give it to Kenyans. But what I will not also accept is being promised heaven and being delivered hell.
Okay.
Because many are the times that William Ruto, when he was running for government, he promised he won't borrow money, and that the cost of living will go down, that he will not increase taxes. But once elected into office, he has done the exact opposite of that. It is not because it is by choice.
Okay.
Economically speaking, he had to do those things. But then you look at other things that they could have done to alleviate the situation. They haven't done those things. So if you've had 4 years and we've seen nothing, then I believe that the next thing for you is to pack your bags, leave, give that house to somebody else to pick it up from where you've left. Yeah.
What are some of the things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, that you think the next president must do?
One, you must have a candid conversation that the debt crisis is not sustainable if we continue on the path that we are going.
Okay.
So number one, you must tell Kenyans that certain spending must go away. Number one, development.
Okay.
That we cannot have development because economically speaking, this country collects about 2.8 trillion shillings.
Okay.
And every financial year, 2 trillion goes to debt. So you have 800 billion to run government. And at that point, 1.6 goes to salaries and just running government. Another 350 to 400 goes to counties. Another almost 180 goes to education. We've not talked about the health sector, the security sector, defense. So you have to be candid that we can't do development because there's no money for development, and that's just a reality.
Okay.
Number two, you have to look at the cost of electricity, and that the investments that we make must be based on a model that is encouraging direct foreign investment in this country, and that government cannot give employment, but it can give incentives to create environment for people to invest in this country and therefore create employment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odhiambo, I think you don't want to speak about Kalonzo Musyoka. Do you want to speak about Kalonzo?
Why doesn't he want to speak about that?
Odhiambo has a very bad demeanor every time I ask him about Kalonzo Musyoka.
He should answer you
a very
about
bad
Kalonzo.
attitude.
Yeah.
Is there anything to talk about him?
You know?
Sincerely.
Is there anything?
That's worse than talking about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Because then is it really that bad, Odhiambo?
No, it's not bad.
Is it really that bad?
Kalonzo is largely successful. He has achieved so much for himself. He's become the vice president. He's led this country beautifully. He's given us his 100%. We've seen it. It's
yeah. But is
I don't see. I'm not moved by Kalonzo, not an inch. He's a beneficiary of negotiated democracy.
okay.
Kalonzo cannot rise by himself. Kalonzo must have very strong currents under his wing to carry him above. And that's a very dangerous person to have as a leader.
And it is not happening in 2026 onwards. You think it's not happening?
No, it could be happening. It could be if the strong currents under his wings are strong enough. Then
He said that he has no problem deputizing Sifuna. What do you feel about that?
just like Moses Kuria said the other day, it is like 207 at Kasarani. Ruto was contesting, Nyaga was contesting, who was contesting? Like we didn't know.
Yeah.
That it was like we were being fooled. Like it was not Raila who was going to be declared the candidate. Just like the other time at Bomas of Kenya, when Raila alivalishwa kofia mingi, remember?
Yeah.
Remember that picture?
Yeah.
Like it's running around a Caucasian choke circle. We are running around the same point just to arrive at the point, which we already knew that this was actually the point. Okay. So Kalonzo Sifuna, out of seniority, Kalonzo would carry the day because the currents that go below his wings to lift him will not be comfortable having Sifuna as a presidential candidate, but as a deputy for Kalonzo. They're a very good match, the same way Sifuna and Wanjigi are a very good match. Those two, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of leadership decisions...
Why would somebody not want Sifuna to be on the top?
Well, it's my perception, I'm biased.
Okay.
Yeah. You want Sifuna to be on the top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just my perception.
Yeah, but it looks like, are you the one who does not want him on the top? Or, you know, or
it's the political. What Odhiambo is giving you is the political analysis as at its strategic level.
Okay.
It is not necessarily about what is good for him or what looks nice, but this is the political reality.
Yeah.
And the political reality is that Kalonzo Musyoka stands as the senior most. Okay. And seniority is a currency in political negotiation.
It is.
So when you put these people together, it becomes very, very difficult to put someone above Kalonzo as it stands today.
Okay.
And number two, he has quite another attribute that sometimes we describe as not a very good one, but sometimes it can help you politically.
Okay.
The attribute of being wishy-washy.
Okay.
We can't, the attribute that makes it hard for Odhiambo to talk about him.
Okay.
Like you can't place him. You can't know what he has done. What does he want? Now that character is good for people who want to create a king, because people who want to create a king love a weak king.
Okay.
And so that also places him at a vantage position in terms of negotiation. He's the kind that Rigiji would be comfortable with, because he'll be sure that seated in Wamunyoro, he'll be running government even when he's not in State House. And everyone else around would feel like, okay, fine, this one we can always be able to run on all fronts. One, from his personal demeanor, and two, from the political reality that he will have no numbers. Look at the number of MPs Wiper would gather. Yeah, so at the end of the day, there's nothing that can go on in Parliament without DCP, without Rigathi Gachagua, without the others. And that is the reason why they would actually be able, whatever Odhiambo is calling the wings,
the current under the wings.
The current under the wings, that they would be able to propel him, not necessarily for the right reasons of progress for the country, not for the reasons of wanting a better country, but for political selfish interests. They can be able to want that person, because kingmakers will always make a weak king. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Kalonzo Musyoka is somebody that really, I don't know what to say about him myself too, because I think that if there is a friend of mine who is called Peter, who is always very excited about Kalonzo Musyoka, but when you talk with him and tell him, what do you want to do with Kalonzo Musyoka as your project? He's also not very sure about what they want to do with Kalonzo Musyoka.
He likes his hair.
Yeah, so it becomes very difficult for him, and every time he's next to people talking about leadership and so on and so forth, he really has a problem explaining about, saying anything about his boss. And I don't know why he's sticking around. You know, I don't know why he's sticking around. I'll one day ask him. But I think in politics, why do people stick around people? Because
for various reasons.
Yeah.
One, the proximity to power is, it gives the kick that is near drug addiction.
Okay.
Or more. The kick that you get from cocaine, from
actually more.
Actually more.
Yeah.
I call it hyperstimulation. The stimulation around political power is extreme. It's beyond a relationship. It's beyond love. It is the fulfillment of the full capacity, what we call the self-actualization. One, because there is easy resources around political power.
Okay.
Very easy resources. So long as you have access, then you unlock those resources. That's what we call authoritative allocation of those resources. So many people would want to go around political power, or go for political power, because then you access money very easily. Two, political power comes with privilege. So Mundalo is the senator for Bungoma in 2027.
Yeah.
I am Mundalo's friend. Of course, even if Mundalo does not give me money.
Okay.
But being that I'm Mundalo's friend, my status in the society shoots immediately. Because I know somebody who knows somebody. Remember the conference we did with you called the 6S rule?
Yeah.
Yes, so it works in that very fashion as well. Yeah. So then lastly, access to intervention or the institutions of compulsion. How do you call them?
Yeah, tenders.
No, compulsion. Well, that is also a thing. To be quite frank,
I just thought you were using many English words for
that's right. But I was looking at that.
For tenders.
I was looking at you see when you have power.
Yeah.
You have control over the institutions of arbitration, which means the EACC, etc. Those are institutions of arbitration. You have them.
Okay.
The criminal justice system is in your hand, or at least you can influence it. Then you also have power to call a chief officer, someone, tell them, allocate that to Jagero.
Yeah.
And
I was being told a funny story in Kisumu over the weekend.
Yes.
And there is a gentleman, if he wanted to get you on phone, he will call the head of NIS to look for you and place you where. If he can't get you, he will call NIS and say, why is this guy at?
Yes.
In which town?
Yes. And they will tell him.
And they will tell him.
And they come for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So power is that. It gives you some level of...
Yeah. They also have people, Jagero, who... and I think this is usually sometimes the quagmire that politicians find themselves in, especially when you are a senior politician at the level of Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yeah.
Because then you are at a level where people can be around you and they can be employed.
Yeah.
Now, then for such kind of people, it becomes about job security. It is very dangerous for a person who is in the political space, especially at that level, to have employed people with zero ambition around you.
Yeah.
Because for them, their primary responsibility becomes to guard their job. Because whether you become whatever you want to become or not is neither here nor there, is none of their business. For as long as they will get a salary at the end of the month, that is what matters to them. And so most of the time you'll realize that those are always the gatekeepers. That even when you have people like Odhiambo who would want to come around Kalonzo and help lift him up, these people are so uncomfortable because for them it's about protecting a job. And for them, when you come closer, it's about you interfering with their job. To them, it does not matter what he becomes. For as long as he is here and we can be able to get our salary at the end of the month and live our lives and pay our rent, that is it. So sometimes people would be sticking around such kind of leaders, not for the sake of the leaders, but for the sake of themselves. Yeah.
Okay. That is what is going on. Babu is trying to start his campaign. Have you guys seen?
Yes. Very nice bill posters.
Shiny things.
Nairobi first. Nairobi kwanza.
Nairobi first.
Nairobi first.
Yeah. I think I was trying to remember what something was being said about something fast just the other day.
Yeah, that was Kenya kwanza.
Huh?
No. Are you having a deja vu?
No. It's the French thing. You remember?
Or the
Africa First.
Oh, Africa First. Yes.
Yeah. So I thought this thing is being taken from somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Nairobi First. I like the poster. It looks nice.
What is he gonna do for you, the Ambo, as a Nairobian? You think?
Well, I'm not
according to the posters. According to the posters,
he's having the poster gives him the identity. I don't know that we have it.
Yeah. Hii watu hapana kuwa na hiyo poster. Wanaweza wataweka.
Tafuta hiyo poster hapo.
Tafuta hiyo poster kwa Facebook yake.
The poster in terms of branding, from branding perspective, I think it identifies him as a city boy. He's a young man with the background of the city. Very relevant.
Yeah.
His haircut looks very city-like. He's not baldy like me.
Yeah.
His poise and everything looks very city-like. Yeah. So it gives him a very strong brand identity.
Okay.
Identifying with the city county. Against his competitor, what's his name? Gakuya. He is against a green background, which looks like he's at a farm somewhere.
Green belt movement.
Yeah. A green background.
Okay.
But this is just for communication. This is not meant for anything.
Yeah. Blue means city?
There's blue. Yeah, blue is very city. Blue lights. Blue light is, you don't find blue light at home. This one's.
Yeah.
Blue light is very significant of city light. Red light district, you know what that means.
Yeah.
You go down uko chini. So it's good. Then I was saying, if you look at Gakuya's image, his dressing looks a little bit off.
Yeah. Grooming.
Grooming is a little bit off. It's not stylish to the city youth, city energy.
Okay.
He gives more of the Jama who comes from around the city.
Yeah.
But is the I don't want to say Katari. I want to say no. Wait. I want to say there's this Kiambu. Yeah, somewhere.
Kitangela.
Maybe like this. You know this old guy who you see with a Godfather.
Yeah.
Or cowboy who drives into town.
He came to the city long time ago, stayed inside the CBD and then left.
Then now, since he knows the places, he drives every morning with this milk and farm supplies.
Yeah.
And supplies very early in the morning. Then you meet him at Java. Then you wonder, what is this guy doing at Java?
Yeah.
It's mysterious, but he's there.
Yeah.
Then you also realize he has some money and he always reads newspapers.
Yeah.
Then by 3, He's off in his Datsun pickup, driving back out of
town,
out of the city. In primary, there used to be this song we used to sing, "Old Kiroboto had a farm." Do you know it? Yeah. So Nani looks like is not very much with the city. Gakuya. Yes, he's very off. His backgrounds are wrong. The billboards are everywhere. You can see Gakuya's billboards everywhere. But the brand and
it does not strike you as something that. No, really.
Of course, I see it, but doesn't leave a striking image in my mind. Maybe because I have a bias, but two, because
you have a bias,
towards Babu.
Towards Babu.
Yeah, but also because when I look at his billboard, just from a communication perspective, it doesn't entrench.
Yeah, but Babu
doesn't smile.
He doesn't smile.
Gakuya does not smile. If you take a photo for a billboard, you must smile. If you smile, you look more trustworthy in communication. That's what if you put this serious face of yours on a proposal, nobody will give you anything. But where your eyes look like they're disappearing, like now, you're more trusted.
But you didn't tell me what he's going to do.
Babu.
Yeah. I looked through his posters. There was nothing he said that he's going to do.
Yeah. So at the first instance, in campaign, you have the awareness, then you have the engagement, then you have the conversion. So at this stage, it's just awareness. Awareness ni kuuza sura.
All right.
That is why if you remember Polycarp Igade's billboards, they were looking like this. It was just him and nothing else. If you look at Sakaja's, they're just him and nothing else. Nothing meaningful being talked about his agenda on a billboard. Still.
So it's just all right.
It's just awareness.
It's just all right.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Yeah, but what is he going to do? Let's wait and hear. He's not told us.
Yeah, but what do you think he's going to do?
He teaches maths online, which is good. Which means he has focus on education, which is beautiful. Yeah, that's somebody who has education at heart. Then, of course...
Why is Mundalo finishing his water as you speak? Mundalo has actually taken all his water as you speak about Babu. What is going on here?
I used the stairs. I was just thirsty.
No, but what do you think? I have a feeling there is something going on that corner. You like Babu? Is it your preferred in Nairobi to change the face of the city?
I mean, Nairobi has its own issues, really. If you look at how we elect governors, what they've done. But I mean... for Sakaja, he's done a terrible job, that's for sure. But you see, even when he was campaigning, in fact, he garnered a lot of women votes because he was quote-unquote handsome. So, I see Babu trying to articulate certain things that he's going to do, issues of drainage, and so on and so forth. But it's always the same narrative that we are sold. But then when you look at what is the alternative, not convincing.
Yeah. So Babu stands tallest. Does he?
Yeah, actually.
Would you vote for him?
I would, considering what he's done for his constituents. I think there is something that you can see he's done. So he's viable, yes.
He's viable. Hey, Mundalo, you love him so much? Mr. Babu, or you have your, you're a city, this is your city.
Yeah, this is my city.
Yeah, 2 cents is going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, this is my city. And Babu is a gentleman that I know very well. And I've been with him since the days in the university politics. But if talking about what he has presented today that we are looking at, and I think you would want me to talk more from a communication perspective than any other. I think, first of all, I agree with Odhiambo that the color choosing is correct because it's a color of inspiration. It's a color of inspiration. And he's also speaking to his constituency because in politics and in political communication, you always have to ask yourself, who is your primary consumer? And Babu's primary consumer is a young person. That is the person who is excited most about Babu Owino's candidature in Nairobi today. And that's why where I will differ with Odhiambo is when he says that about Gakuya and his billboards, and then I would ask what is Gakuya's primary consumer, because that primary consumer also consumes Gakuya that way. The primary consumer of Gakuya wants him that way. Gakuya is not supposed to be inspiring young people because they are not necessarily going to be drifting that side unless he does a lot of work. So he's speaking to his primary consumer and he's trying to say, I can be trusted. Are you the guys who are doing biashara ya huku hivi marikiti na huko chini?
I agree with you.
He's saying, I am your guy. I've been here for some time.
Yeah,
yeah, he's trying to say, sisi ndio tumekuwa hapa.
Yes.
Hawa jamaa wametoka wapi. So, and for me, it's he's also branded himself for his primary audience. So I love that people are starting to come out, especially when we talk about the city. This time round, we have to be very serious about the city. We must not be able to make mistakes of electing slogans for this city. We must not make the mistakes of just electing optical value for this city. I think we have tried about 5 governors, if I'm not wrong. We should now be at a point where we as a city should now know what we want, so that we make decisions not just on the basis of political parties and euphoria and all that kind of thing, but we must be able to start making decisions while looking at it and remembering that when you are the governor of Nairobi, you are the second most highly elected person in the Republic of Kenya. After the president, the other place where the person who is voted gets a high number of votes is the governor of Nairobi. So we must be able to know that it's a seat that we must take seriously, and so we must take the candidate seriously, and so they must come with us with that kind of seriousness.
But do you think that we are looking at serious people in this election, Babu included? People that text us to Nairobi to our Nairobi Singapore. If Ruto is taking us to the national Singapore, then is Babu? Do you think we have people that are taking us to that Singaporean kind of stature city?
I think it's until they're able to tell us what they plan to do for the city. It's when we can be able to really make conclusive decisions about them. And that's why I'm saying we must look deeper than just the optics.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of optics in Nairobi. But then we must be able to be deep. So we must be able to look at what is Babu offering. Away from, and just the way we are looking at the national government, and when we're talking about the President William Ruto, and we are saying opposition leaders, supposing the name William Ruto was not in your mouth, what would you be telling Kenyans? That's the same thing we should be asking in Nairobi. That supposing the name Sakaja was not in your mouth, what would you be telling Nairobians? Because we can't wake up morning to evening discussing about what Sakaja has done wrong. No. Can you now tell us what you intend to do right, so that we just don't do protest voting? Okay. Yeah.
Just let me say this. There's nothing much that is there to be really done in Nairobi, because the position of the governor in Nairobi points beyond quote-unquote development of Nairobi City County.
Okay.
I think I have said this before, that Nairobi City County needs not to exist as a county.
Okay.
It needs to exist as a metropolitan division or a metropolitan geographical area that has an appointee who is a minister sitting in cabinet or sitting under the Ministry of Devolution, because Nairobi's issues are very unique compared to other counties, and the schedule under which the County Government's Act is formed or is stated does not serve Nairobi interests. For example, the big question of most Nairobians today is their earning. That's very important for them. It's where they live. And you see, the budget that is coming in terms of where they live is not fair enough. The county government has designated Minister for Agriculture. Where in Nairobi do we do agriculture, for example? There's some variances, in my view, which makes Nairobi the same to Mombasa, and perhaps Nakuru slightly, but especially Nairobi, to be quite a unique thing, because I would expect the governor of Nairobi to solve the following issues. One is the transport question, the traffic jam question, the employment question, especially the earnings, the hourly earnings. They should be very unique. I expect minimum wage issues to come in. I expect garbage collection issues. I expect to have lights, basically the social amenities well taken care of. But most of these things cannot be well delivered under the current budgeting, because that money is too small even to unclog the sewerage lines for Nairobi, the drainage system for Nairobi, the water for Nairobi, even just the planning because Nairobi City County issues approvals for buildings. And if you look at whatever is being done, it's complete abuse of the space. You look at, we've talked about Kileleshwa, we've talked about Kilimani, we've talked about even pipeline. You go to Kware area in Eastlands, and you look at what is happening there, it looks like a catastrophe waiting to happen. That tells you a city that is not properly planned. And these things, I believe, they go beyond commoners, who some of them are currently serving in the Nairobi County government. And I don't believe that even Babu will come and sort these issues, or even Gakuya. Some of these issues are a system question that needs structural adjustment in terms of shifting the question of the number of counties. And beautifully, it's also a referendum question. We can table it alongside the referendum.
Diambo has got a lot of referendum questions, yeah?
Every time I'm here,
Yeah.
actually, there's always a referendum question.
Yeah.
But I think picking from where Odhiambo has left, I'll disagree with him a little bit on the issue of the argument for having Nairobi as a metropolitan. Of course, a case can be made for Nairobi to be a metropolitan. But if one of the arguments is budgeting, then I think it is in the Bible that we are told the parable of the talents, that somebody had like 3 servants, and then each servant was given a certain number of talents. And then the one with the least, he went and buried the talent was given. And then the others had went and invested their talents. And when the master came, he asked, what have you done with the little that I gave you? And the first 2 were able to give something in addition to what they were given. And the last one said, Master, you know, I know what kind of master you are.
Okay.
And I know that your money, I could not take it. So I went and buried the money that you gave me, and here it is. And we see that the little that he had was taken and was given to somebody else. Before we can start making a case for we need more money, it's the little that has come your way.
Yeah.
Where is it? What can we see you've done with it? One of the governors that struggle when they go to the Public Accounts Committee is Sakaja. He cannot account for certain resources allocated to him. So when you have a governor that with the money that he has, he cannot tell you what he has done, and then you want to expand the budget of the said area, it is just you enabling corruption to a larger extent from where I sit. And also the arguments for when you look at issues such as traffic, employment, these are really issues. We have to agree that the money lost by people sitting in traffic is a lot. You cannot have an economy where people spend 3-4 hours in traffic. It is a tragedy. But then again, the system that we have currently of both having national government doing certain infrastructure in terms of roads, and also the county government, I think we had this system, if you can remember, the BRT, that we were to have a particular lane, and then we have buses, and that lane was specifically for public transport. I don't know where that project went, because money was given for the project. I feel like that could have helped to some extent to solve this issue of traffic. So there's no shortage of ideas or money to some extent. The problem is the personnel that we have in these areas. And as Mundalo said, that we have to be serious this time. It's not about protester voting, but these are our concerns. Who's much suited to address the concerns that we have? And we must also juxtapose those issues to what have you done before? And what are you promising to do, and how actually are you going to achieve that? Is a very important question, because we have to also recognize that Nairobi is unique, as Odhiambo says. It has its own challenges. But before we can go the metropolitan way, can we try first and see what we can do first, and then the argument can be made later?
We've had evidence. Sorry, Mundalo. Just before coming, we've had evidence of systemic failures, either engineered politically or otherwise. Like, for example, there's no some saying the budgeting is too small. I want to explain to my brother so that he understands. Most of the county government roads are class D, class E. They cannot work on class C. I want to give you a typical example. From the roundabout here, Kenyatta, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, hapa.
Avenue, yeah.
Ukikuja juu mpaka Valley Road, that is a class D road. that should be done by the county. The investment that is needed to put this thing that they're putting, this high-rise something, your flyover, is about 3-point-something billion. The county receives, Nairobi I think receives about 20 or 30, I'm not certain. They're about 20-something billion from the national government. Now, if one place, this one, as small as this, is already taking 3 billion, and this is just one ward, because again, we are still existing within the County Governments Act. Yeah. Look at the Ngong Road one. That is another 3.6 billion. So if you are to give the county that, it means roads department alone has already gone with how many billion? 7.
Almost 7.
That is 2 wards. How many wards do we have in Nairobi? Almost 50, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Now, imagine, extend that to all the other places. And Nairobi is ultra-modern because most of the roads are done what? Either tarmacked or they have, I don't know how you call those things.
The
cabros.
Yeah.
Okay? So construction of roads alone stretches the department beyond. So they call for complementation from or complementary services from the national government. Yeah. And that's why you see, as much as we want to read the politics in it, the politics must be there. But let's see, the county government agreeing, it's there in the County Governments Act that they can agree on donating or giving back some roles to the national government to handle. If that evidence is there, for example, William Ruto the other day said that they're putting in 80 billion to sewerage expansion or sewerage works, roads, etc. And that on that plan that they're talking about, that 80 billion cannot be channeled to Nairobi County as a single county legally. It must go through that kind of framework. So that uniqueness on that framework alone, roads alone, it tells you that if Nairobi needs about 20 billion alone
on
roads. So it means the entire budget goes to roads before you talk even about health, before you talk about trade. Now, if you come to trade, you need to give people loans. Nairobi people want loan to do business. You won't tell them you've built the market sheds, because how about the hawkers who are down there? And they're not doing small business. Transport, it is supply side and consumption economy. So they need big money or big capital to help them bring in products to do it. So the budget in question is my premise for saying Nairobi needs to be shifted.
And I think that you're talking about two different things. The gentleman is saying something else, and I think you agree at some point, but there is a departure.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's saying, okay, a lot of people are saying that Nairobi receives about 40 million every day. All right?
That's small.
Well, put it at 100 million. All right? But considering that the road Kenyatta Avenue does not have street lights.
Yes.
All the way to Hurlingham.
Yes.
And you're collecting 100 million per day. That's what he's saying. Essentially, that you cannot claim that, look, we are going to say okay, this whatever the Chinese are doing here, okay, we can figure out how does it work. And I'm not sure how it should work. I don't know whether what is being built outside here should be built by Nairobi County.
It should be by the Nairobi County because it's a Class D road. It's not a Class C.
But that is also interesting because I am feeling like if actually the money that Nairobi collects can be taken into one pot, they can do anything they want in the city. I think they can. Because if Odhiambo, Nani was saying that he was being bribed at a rate of 50 million every day. Sonko said that he was being given 50 million every day. I mean, really. And what is the other ones that are giving 50 million cutting away?
Exactly.
It has to be a lot. And I think that I do not, for me, I think I don't care whether it should be something else, metropolitan or whatever. I do not really care. Right. I think what the citizens want is the fact that Nairobi is working.
That's true.
Unaona yu kitu yenye Sakaja is always saying lazima iwork.
Yes.
I don't know why he says it all the time, because why is he saying it?
Because it needs to work.
But it's not working, right?
And the only way for it to work, you know what I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah.
That the citizen needs to see the result.
So what this gentleman is saying,
but it's a legal
I do not agree with him that we should not make it metropolitan.
Yeah.
I think it should, because I feel like Nairobi is when you land from anywhere outside the country, you land here.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you see when you land into this city and you're saying, no, this is not a representation of Kenya. This can't be a representation of Kenya for sure. All right? So some things needs to be done. And Sakaja can do them very easily, but they have been struggling a lot to do them. But Mundalo wants to say something.
Okay.
Let Mundalo say something.
Yeah, I was enjoying the listening at some point.
Yeah.
But this is what I think, Jagero, that I don't know why we keep having this problem in Kenya where every time we want to reduce challenges to legal issues.
Yeah.
So now we want to say that the problem with Nairobi is its component and how it's composed, and we need to change the legal structure of it. My thinking is that where there is leadership, people will always be able to realize, and there will be a change and there will be transformation.
Yeah.
It has very little to do with what legal components herein exist. Because I look at, for instance, Kiambu County, for instance. For long, people thought because it's metropolitan and all this and all that. But giving credit where it's due, Kimani Wamatangi has really tried to do a good job in Kiambu County.
He actually showed us a picture when Nairobi went dark.
Exactly. So it is purely a leadership problem. And when you talk about Nairobi, first of all, I don't come from the background of people who really believe Sakaja has done totally nothing. Whereas I have my issues with how he has led the city. I don't really agree that he would be judged at nothing perspective. Because one, when I walk around Nairobi, the food program that he has is very, very liked across the city.
Okay.
Most of us usually have the wrong imagination that Nairobi County means Nairobi CBD. And most of the time when we are discussing matters Nairobi, we are discussing the CBD. Nairobi is much, much bigger than that. And for someone who can be able to see it holistically like that, I think Nairobi needs someone with managerial ability. Someone who has been able to lead a corporation before.
Right.
Someone who has been able to hold, someone who has been able to have a lot of money in their hand and manage it and been able to see some changes. Your names irrespective. I'm just saying that we need someone who has that caliber. Someone who has led, someone who has that corporate outlook. Because at the end of the day, Nairobi does not just stand and end at the politics.
Yeah.
Yeah? It goes further. Nairobi is the base of opportunity. Everyone in this country, they travel to Nairobi in search of opportunity. And therefore, you need a governor in Nairobi who understands that that is one of the primary reasons why people have come. So this is a person who has the corporate outlook for him to be able to fix Nairobi in regard to shaping the business environment first in Nairobi so that it's conducive to everybody, that opportunity exists in Nairobi. And that person must also be able to look at Nairobi beyond the town, beyond CBD. Nairobi is not just CBD.
Right.
We have people in Kibra who are also in Nairobi. Nairobi is 17 constituencies. So we must not be myopic enough to always just look at Nairobi from a CBD perspective. And if anything, if you want to look at CBD, Sakaja has done streetlights in CBD. And I don't see people praising him.
He's done the pavement.
He has done the pavements in CBD. That's why I say we cannot just come from a background and say Sakaja has done nothing. No, I don't believe so. There are certain things that he has done. But why is it that most of the things in the city are not changing? It's a management problem in my view, that now he just does not have the tried and tested hands in regard to management of that caliber. Because we need to look at Nairobi as a corporation, as a big corporation, as an equity, as a Safaricom, as something of that caliber. The person whose hands can be able to lead that kind of thing should then be the person who should be able to lead Nairobi. I think that is where we have fallen short, because most of the time in Nairobi, the politics has taken center stage and not the management. So most of the time we have elected the best politician, not the best manager. And that should be able to change this time around.
Yeah, it's become a beauty contest where we elect people with the best dimples.
Especially for women rep now. It's crazy.
Women rep is crazy, yeah?
It's crazy. In Nairobi, ask anyone in Nairobi why they elect their women reps. And
Because
that's why you look at the billboards of the women reps in Nairobi, Jagero, and all of them are doing a beauty contest.
Yeah, mtu ameweka nini hips.
Yeah. They are not selling an agenda. They are selling something else that maybe Odhiambo would call an agenda.
You look like you don't know.
But you say
The agenda. The agenda.
Well, I think it is a Pandora's box when you go to the issue of women rep. I mean, first of all, it's a very interesting position.
It's a lazy seat. Needs to be scrapped off.
But then they
In fact,
attack you.
the
moment
No, it's a lazy seat.
okay, it's true. But the moment you go down that road,
and also
they
it's an
start to attack you. Actually,
We have never feared attacks here.
You see, one thing I cannot fear is that I'm a thinker, and thinkers offend status quo. If I can't provoke thinking, or if I can't provoke emotions, then
what is your liking for the women rep?
Personally,
Yes.
I think. Okay, let's start from the mandate that we should have not more than 2/3 of a particular gender in elective offices.
Yeah.
I feel like you cannot force leaders on people.
Exactly.
Because all of us can vie.
Yeah.
In fact, women voters are the most, and they are the ones that actually turn out to vote. So it is an issue of, one, do you present yourself for voting? And if anything, it is actually women who don't vote for other women. So you can't then therefore force us through a legal framework that we must have women leaders in elective positions. So insofar as women rep seats are concerned, I don't see anything they have done since 2013.
Yeah.
Since that seat was introduced, there's nothing tangible. Tell me anything. I don't see. And then as to, Mundalo's argument earlier on...
Digger, what is it? Look at this man. What is it? So let the gentleman speak.
Yes.
They look at me like he has something. Something about a woman rap in Nairobi that I have something to do with. I have nothing.
No. I am not going.
Uninterested.
I am not going that direction. But it is very interesting that you are saying that it's a lazy seat, and then this guy is saying it's useless, and then Mundalo does not agree completely with this issue, and this is the problem that I keep having every time we speak here, Mr. Mundalo.
Yeah.
It looks like this constitution gave us a lot of baggage to deal with.
Correct.
Yeah.
We are overrepresented.
Our constitution was written
yes.
our constitution was done by activists, in my view. We have an activist document.
Especially during the...
We have an activist document that is huge.
It has no mathematical calculation on it.
We have an activist document that we call our constitution. And that's why the only thing that thrives in our constitution is opposition.
Yeah.
It has bottlenecks for everything. That we gave ourselves a law where we go and elect leaders, give them a mandate, and then we have to keep stopping them at every point of execution of anything. And that's why today, for everything that you'd want to do, there will be a court order here and there. There will be public participation. And then I ask myself, Jagero, if someone came to me and told me that I want to be your member of parliament, and they told me this is what I want to do, and I okayed and said, fine, you can go and do it. When they start doing it, why am I demanding that they must talk to me? It doesn't make basic sense to me. Because I had an opportunity at the point of conversation on entry. When they were coming in, I had an opportunity to be able to say, I don't want Odhiambo. Why? Because Odhiambo, I don't agree with what you're saying. But Odhiambo is telling me that, look here, when you make me a member of parliament, I'll be able to distribute CDF at 5,000 per person.
Okay.
And then I agree with him. And then I give him my vote. Then he becomes my member of parliament. Then tomorrow, when he's doing exactly what he told me he'll do, I've taken him to court because he didn't talk to me. Then I'm wondering. I find that a bit ludicrous. But that is what our constitution...
In fact, I would dare say that our constitution is a trust deficit management working tool.
A trust
deficit
management tool. Can you what is that? What is that in lawyer? Please sit it out.
On this one, actually, no. I'll have to strongly disagree with both Mundalo.
Go ahead. You're the one who started it. You're the one who started the whole thing about women rep.
Yes, for women rep, we're in the same boat. Where we are not on the same boat, there's the issue of public participation that has been raised, and the issue as to why should I elect you, and then again you need to consult me along the way. You say when you marry somebody, you always give them promises. I can do this for you, I can do this and that for you. And then maybe successfully you convince them.
That's campaign.
You convince them into a marriage. And they have now this kind of expectations. So along the way, some marriages do divorce. There's some that succeed. But I believe in every marriage, people do fight. And fighting is necessary. Looking at when we gave ourselves this document, it was at the backdrop of 24 years of Moi in power. And then therefore most people were traumatized having seen what an imperial presidency could look like.
Exactly.
Okay.
And therefore Kenyans had to give themselves every guardrail possible, imaginable, that in the event we find ourselves with a leader that does not have the best interest of us at heart, we have some certain guardrails to protect ourselves. And I think to that extent, it is a very good thing. If Odhiambo here miraculously is abducted by government, he will enjoy something we call habeas corpus. You see, that is a benefit that he'll enjoy. Now that you are on the side of government, that you might not be subject to some of those things, the day that you are actually subject to these things, you will actually hallelujah now.
What is this one in English? What is this thing you have said?
Habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus basically means you must be produced to court, either dead or alive. There is no other way. And therefore the court can, if the Inspector General of Police does not comply with that order, he can actually be jailed for lack of compliance. So therefore, from where I sit, are there questions that we need to look at in the Constitution? An argument can be made for that. But insofar as certain guardrails are there, you see, you have to make a law considering that your worst enemy can get into power. And therefore, if that happens, how can you be protected? And therefore, certain issues must be there. An issue such as public participation, I feel like strongly should be there. And lastly, on the issue of Nairobi needing more or less a manager, I think we'll agree on this one, but then the question arises, do Nairobians want that? Do they want somebody who can manage their affairs? Because, as Mundalo rightly observes, that Kiambu, to some extent, has had a level of success. In fact, looking at their on-source revenue over the years, has grown. But look at Nairobi. It is almost stagnant, and I don't believe that the level of economic activity has been the same throughout the years. And therefore, we have to ask ourselves certain questions that, is it really that we have economic stagnation, or is it that people are pocketing this money? And I think it's the latter, not the former.
All right. Dini Nyoro is having you wanted to say something before we jump in?
No, I just wanted to tell my brother that I liked his example on marriages, and I was just about to tell him that most successful marriages are run on dictatorship. But
depending on where you come from.
That was just on a light. Somebody because of the when you look at our current generation vis-a-vis the former generations, where is divorce higher? Is it in our generation or in our previous generations? And I find it higher in our generation more than the other generations. Now, when you check deeper into how things were done in those previous generations, it does not bother a lot on public participation. But then again, that example of I didn't say that everything about the question is wrong, but I have a bias, especially on the leadership fundamentals. Because the example you gave of someone is being abducted, that is already wrong. And you have rightfully put it that when you're abducted or when you're arrested, you have to be produced in court within 24 hours. It is not that when you are arrested, the court has to go and do public participation to know whether you should be produced in court within the next 24 hours. And that's what I'm talking about. That we have things that should just be able to be black and white, that it can be done like this, and then we just move on. It's not, everything is not necessarily consultative. I have been part of this political headache for a minute. From the time when it was a sitting room where it was very stuffy, and Jagero used to stuff us in one small tiny thing. And we would have to oblige and sit there. If he really needed public participation for us to always decide where do we go next, we would still be in that stuffy room, because some people would feel, Odhiambo would say it's closer to his home, and therefore we should be able to move. Another one would have another reason. But because someone has to take a bold decision and move, that's why we are here this far. So I'm just saying that at some point, when we give you the legroom and the mandate to be a leader, we have to allow you lead. That's what I think.
Can you give us particularly a case in point whereby the Constitution acts as a hindrance to you executing your mandate?
Okay, I'll give you very many examples. I don't know whether you have the time.
Give us one.
Let me give you one. During the campaign of Kenya Kwanza, they say they'll do housing, right? At the execution of housing, there was a court order stopping the same housing. When you come again, you look at things like the Hustler Fund, for instance. That was a promise given. At its execution, you start having teething challenges, someone is going to court, and all that kind of thing. So there's so many of these kind of things that have actually happened, and not just at national government level, even at county government level. And I ask myself, why must we always have these things every time. And of course, it is not wrong to have them now. Why? Because they are under our law. So you can't hate what is legal. But because I'm a broad thinker, I must be able to think outside the box, and I think some of them are just unnecessary. But lawyers would defend them because that is how they earn.
Not really. For instance, the example that you gave on housing, I don't believe that anybody knows it all, in the sense that, especially the issue with housing, it's not that housing is wrong. It's actually needed. Especially when you look at if the aim is to eliminate slums in Nairobi, it's actually a right concept. The problem is how do you execute on your concept? Even Odhiambo rightly agrees that the concept is good, but the way in which they went about it is wrong. Why? If you have Kenyans paying you taxes, and then you have a specific levy for housing, so that means those houses are built by public resources on public land, then would it make sense for you again to sell that house to a Kenyan?
And has that process gone through the legal requirements? It has gone to parliament and been ratified. And two, the person who goes to court, what makes the person who goes to court always think he represents the rest of Kenyans? These are the bottlenecks we're talking about. Yeah, you are one person who has gone to court. What makes you think all Kenyans? Why must something stop because of one individual who has gone to court?
Well, because now I am thinking, because the problem is now, okay, Ruto wants to do what he wants to do. He's saying, okay, this is the route to do it. He says, okay, what is in front of me? Parliament. Let's go there.
Yeah.
And then it's passed.
It's passed.
And then another thing, okay, that one is passed.
Yeah.
And then we run to court to save us from Ruto and Parliament.
After it has been passed by Parliament, who are the representatives of the people? We have given the representatives of the people the mandate to go and sit in Parliament and represent all of us because we all can't be there.
Says it is the Parliament. Diambo usually says it is the Parliament.
I've always said that we have particular things which we don't have to agree on. And it's fine because it's a democracy. Yeah. And there are policy questions which again is our process of governance and leadership. For example, as Mundalo is saying, even the question of a parliament making laws, I've always said, I said it here yesterday, that parliament is making laws based on what? Who are they consulting? Because what working tool, maybe it's very corporate for me, but again, I look at it in terms of work. Before Jagero decides the topic we're going to talk about in the evening, or before he suggests, or before Mundalo, before you suggest, there's a working tool that this is what passes for a topic to be discussed. We don't just show up and dressed and we're talking. So from what voice are parliamentarians coming up with new laws? Parliamentarians have been left on autopilot, not representing the voice of the people, but representing the imagination of the voice of the people. You get my point? So when a parliamentarian goes to parliament and creates laws like affordable housing law, he has not consulted the people. They've not consulted the people. And that's where I'm having a question with the affordable housing thing. And I've always said, if you talk to the people, what they would tell you, number one, don't touch our pay slip. Number two, if that house is built, I don't want to buy it. What you do, build it, then let us have it as social housing. What does social housing do? It helps us control rent of the other private people. So that in the instance, I'm not able to pay 14 or 15,000 for a bed sitter or for a studio, I'm able at my 15,000 to get a 2-bedroom in social housing. It happens in Vienna, it happens in Germany, it happens in countries in Europe that I know. I know of people who have come from this country who live in Vienna, for example, who have a social housing number, that in the instance they lose a job, they can always go back to social housing. Maisha kikuwa ngumu, wanakakaa kidogo, then when they regain, they can afford these big homes, the bungalows. Then they can go back into, but they are entitled to a social housing. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Actually, I agree with you to a large extent. But then we have to appreciate that you have to understand the context in which we live in. We don't live in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the very continent that Wamba 1 has the highest average index of leaders clinging onto power. Not that clinging onto power is wrong, but then do you exercise the said power in the interest of your citizens? how many times do we see leaders at the expense of their citizenry do things that are contrary to the wishes of the people? You see, for the classic example, I mean, what clear demonstration do you need of that people are against something like 2024? Kenyans, before even it went to protest, it started on online. People are like, we've read this thing. Not all of it is wrong. We have some issues with certain provisions.
Yeah.
Can you kindly
just
drop
remove
those
them?
Provisions?
Yeah.
But then they're like, whether you jump down or up and down, we are not going to change even a comma. Now, that is a representative of the people. The people are telling the representative, on this one, can you remove it? And the representative is telling you, you can do what you want, but we cannot do it. So to the extent that people have to die, for you to understand that actually these people are against this particular thing that you want to do is just uncalled for. So therefore, we have to imagine that this is our context, that sometimes our leaders can be elected out of a motive that seems to be good. But once they get into office, they can do the opposite
and that's
of
what I'm
what they
saying.
promised.
And that's because they don't have a tool that ties them to the legal bit. As a communications consultant, I will tell you, and Mundala, I don't know whether we'll agree on this, that you must have a reporting tool. Because you're a representative of the people. If you're a representative, it means there's a forum that you sit with the people, that there's a tool where you record whatever these people have said, and then you take this tool with your team and clean it. Cleaning does not mean you remove the opinions that have been said. It means you simply, come on, it was recorded, you simply clarify in the transcription if there's a comma that should be put, if there's a full stop, etc. You clean data cleaning. Then this tool is what then you go with to Parliament and say, my people, or Mr. Speaker, sir, or the government, according to the people of Kabondo Kasipul, in the meetings that we've had, according to the National Rapporteur's report, which I have here, this is what the people of Kabondo Kasipul want. This one is not negotiable. I'm only saying what the people have done, what? Have told me, even if I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diambo, let's go to, there is an issue of Ndindi Nyoro. Well, our last political temperature before we go anywhere. Ndindi Nyoro is in trouble. He cannot go to DCP and he cannot go to I mean, I'm just thinking, and the government supporters have been really, what is the word? They have been pulling his leg a lot. I don't know whether when I'm kejeli, you know. So if you look at what is happening to Ndindi Nyoro is that on June the 27th, he publicly promised to declare his definitive political stand and next moves by July 25th, 2026. And a lot of people from the government have been goading him to speak because now it is now over 2 weeks since he said that he's going to do that. Today, I think his party leader, Wamunyoro, was having a press conference. He was not there, but I don't think it is his party leader. I mean, you guys, I want to ask you from a political consultant, political analysis point of view, what should Ndindi Nyoro do now? Because it feels like he's not very happy with Gachagua, but I think his home is also telling him that we don't want you the other side, and his conscience is trapped somewhere. What is Ndindi Nyoro supposed to do, Odhiambo, to get out of this quagmire? If he called you as a political consultant and told you, look, I'm knee deep in mud somewhere, I need to get out. Where does he go?
If he's still interested in retaining his seat, the problem in this country, as you know, has always been leaders sometimes follow the voters. And the psychological dominant case or dominant narrative in his constituency, unfortunately, is DCP. But you'll find Ndindi and Muranga generally, and their leaders are very strong-headed, and they're not very much leaning towards Gachagua. There's that almost near opportunity of plucking themselves from the Gachagua ring. Why? Two reasons. One, Muranga is one of the most developed counties in the recent times. Muranga is also the home of most Kikuyu billionaires. Actually, we often joke. That
I only learned the other day that Wanjigi is actually from Murang'a.
Yeah, actually,
yes,
most Kikuyu billionaires are Murang'a born and bred, and they also own River Road largely.
They own River Road.
Yes, they own River Road. It's a whole story. Someday we should
talk about River Road.
Yeah, we should talk about River. I'll tell you a beautiful story of River Road.
Okay.
How the Murang'a gang took over River Road.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are people who are sort of independent-minded, clear in terms of what they want to do for the people. They don't swing with the rest.
Okay.
They are near opposition, waits, then, okay, that's where you're going. Okay, let's go. The beauty is that even if they swing with the charade, they always find their way back into delivering to the, because at the end of the day, whether Ndindi joins Gachagua, or Ndindi remains as an independent, or whichever way he goes, at the end of the day, they will deliver for the people. It's been proven. The tarmac there is so soft, so nice. The schools there are well done. There's something about them. There's something about all that thing. It's beautiful. So he doesn't have to go with Gachagua, but he has to go with Gachagua. It's a tough position for him.
Mr. Mundalo, what is going on there?
I think I would be able to say that if I was to speak to Ndindi, I would tell him that the truth is the best form of PR.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because political expediency always has a way of catching up with you. And when you want to exercise political expediency...
What is political expediency?
Political expediency is where you make decisions based on what is... what is good for that time, what is convenient for you at that time. I'm trying to avoid the word convenient because my English teacher taught me that you don't use the same word to actually explain, to make a clarification. For instance, what Odhiambo is saying, that DCP today is dominant in Mount Kenya. Political expedience is that when you are Ndindi, you just join DCP.
Okay. That's the obvious.
Because that is the obvious. But you see, when you are a politician who exercises political expediency, you must also be truthful that that is what you do. And it will never really catch up with you. Why? You look at someone like Irungu Kang'ata. Irungu Kang'ata is a politician who exercises political expediency and is open about it. And that is why he's rarely harshly judged. He was able to move from Jubilee to UDA for no other reason. He just saying that people are moving this direction.
And I'm going that direction.
And therefore going that direction.
Yeah.
And
in a love letter.
Yeah, in a love letter. He's again making that decision today.
He wrote a love letter?
Yeah. And today you look at it. Yeah, that's why it's called Kang'ata wa Mabarua.
He wrote a letter?
He wrote a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta.
And he also wrote one to Ruto the other day.
Yeah. Today again, Irungu Kang'ata is simply saying, okay, fine.
Okay.
I have no other reason. I think these people just want to be this side. He even tried Linda Mwaranchi. He realized, okay, it might still be opposition, but they actually want DCP. So he just moved, and he was candid and straightforward, even in his explanation. The problem with Ndindi is that Ndindi tries to have an image that is not true, that is not him.
Okay.
He wants to have an image of a leader who is beyond reproach, who has a lot of integrity, and who can be the future president of this country. And for that, he wants people to see him as a serious economist, as a person who can act on principle. The problem with that is that when it's not true, it will fall.
Yeah.
The first aspect of its fall is that they were quick to notice that, wait a minute, whereas we've known you are a serious economist, you can actually tell us things that don't exist in a finance bill. And then people start feeling like, you are just a hot air balloon. Two, these people realize, wait a minute, you didn't even vote. Yet you have made us believe that you are this guy who is beyond reproach and you understand all these things. Three, these people are still able to come out and ask themselves, Ndindi Nyoro, you are posing like you know everything about fuel prices and how they should come down. But you're the one who implemented 16%. It was you who presented these as chair of the budget committee. And that's why he fell flat-foot even when he had an interview on JKL. And Kimani Kuria floored him despite him being tipsy. Why? Because at the end of the day, there is a problem that always comes with the truth. The truth will always come out at some point. So Ndindi built his house on sand because he wants an image that is not true about him. And that's why there are so many statements that you'll find him contradicting himself. Today, therefore, I would tell Ndindi Nyoro to ask himself, what exactly do you want? Do you want to be president? Do you want not to believe in Rigathi? Don't you believe in Rigathi? Come out. Launch your party if it's there, and decide that you are going to run for whatever you want, because that is exactly who you are, and that's exactly what you want. Because for as long as it's political expediency, at some point it will catch up with you. And if you don't want it to catch up with you, then come out clearly and say, like Irungu Kangata, that I have no problem why I'm not supporting President William Ruto. It's just that I think my people want DCP. It is easier to deal with that. Yeah.
So he should quickly jump to DCP.
Just be honest.
He should be honest. Yeah.
Go with Ruto.
He should not even go to DCP if he does not want to do that. And if he is doing it for political expediency, let him be open and say so. Let him not start coming up with the narratives to prove that DCP is a party of integrity. No, let him just say, I'm going there because I think this is where I will win the election.
I mean, because what Nani is explaining, Morales is explaining, is quite an eye-opener in terms of the behavior of leaders. Nani has been very honest, and that explainer is very easy. Very straightforward. It has no ambiguity. Ndindi Nyoro is operating a lot of ambiguity. As I said, he's a study in contrast of himself. He doesn't understand his true identity. So he's suffering from some identity crisis. One, because he feels like he's the super salad of Kikuyu politics.
Super salad?
Yes, super salad of Kikuyu politics. He sits at the creme de la creme of the next generation. He looks at people like Gachagua and dismisses them. These ones are, passing cloud. These ones will go. So he is self-preserving for a future which he doesn't know. That's the danger of what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, when you self-preserve for a future you don't know, what happens is that time waits for no man. And Kijaluo, in those songs, we always say, "Tumurunga manitie." Yeah, that the soloist will only taja yule ambaye yuko kwenye dance floor. If you're not the dance floor, you're not going to be tajwad. Yes. So the more he doesn't take a very honest stand, then his brand starts to attract scrutiny. Right now, Irungu Kangata's brand cannot attract scrutiny because he has moved with the wave. The one for Kiambu, what's his name? Wamatangi.
Yeah.
He's given a very strong signal that he's not going to contest on UDA.
Yeah.
And this brand is not going to attract any scrutiny because now he has elicited expectations. So guys are expecting him to do what? To join DCP. And so what Ndindi Nyoro has to do is to become honest with himself and say, you know what? Yes, I am joining DCP not because I hate President Ruto or not because I don't believe in Gachagua, but because this is where the people are going, and it is fine. There's no harm with it. Yeah.
Okay, let's. Mr. You want to say something before we go on?
Actually, what Mundalo has highlighted is very critical in the sense that at some point Ndindi Nyoro was building this kind of narrative that he is an economist and he understands the working of the economy in and out, and to some extent it was gaining traction, and not only just within his region Nairobi but also in other regions. Whenever people had an economic question, they'd want to hear what does Ndindi have to say about this issue. But as also Odhiambo clearly highlights, that once you start to contradict yourself, that house starts to unravel very fast. Because to some extent, at some point, I was looking at him speak and I was like, actually, there's a leader here. But then when you complain about a finance bill, and then you miss to vote on that finance bill, saying that you had other matters, what could be more important? Because you're the biggest castigator of that finance bill, above and beyond anybody. So, as they say it clearly, that sometimes you have to accept the politics of your region, that yes, you're a good leader, but this time people are saying this is what they want and this is where they are going. And for instance, Rigathi has never been apologetic about people calling him a tribalist. He's embraced it, and it works for him. So you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk about Gachagua then.
Yes.
Okay. No problem.
Gachagua, you're slandering Ruto. I don't know why you decided to meme it like that. But I think Gachagua had a long press conference today. People of the internet, we're going to our topic right now, just about at the top of the hour, 20:58. Let's go to Gachagua had a 1 hour, 50 minutes press conference and talking about a range of issues. I sent you the entire speech.
Yes.
Right? and a few other things that we did. So it is important that we go over it. Let's listen to him. I think 2 minutes of him talking about what he thinks.
On the affordable housing program, the Office of the Auditor-General reports that have flagged major legal and operational risks regarding fund utilization, including untraceable international development loans, low fund absorption, and missing land ownership documentation for ongoing projects. Further, the levies deducted from Kenyan pay slips are invested in a third-party financial service firm licensed by the Capital Markets Authority. How are their fees determined? How much has been paid out to date? What is his association with William Ruto? On the restoration of Nairobi rivers, Mr. William told Kenyans that on December 25, that Nairobi River will have fish. Can members of the press visit this river tomorrow and bring us one piece of fish? This government committed itself to protecting public assets, strengthening governance, eliminating corruption, and ensuring that public resources would be managed solely in the interests of the people of Kenya. It promised a government founded on transparency, accountability, and prudent stewardship of national resources. On the divestiture of the Kenya pipeline, has Kenya surrendered its ownership and control to a neighboring country? What was the rationale of forcing Kenyan state corporations to invest public funds in a public entity? Who is the mysterious lead transaction advisor, stroke investment banker that was the face of the IPO? How did he acquire his Kenyan citizenship, and whose interest does he represent? Mr. William Ruto and Senator Aaron Cheriot must come clear on their relationship with this mysterious dual citizen investment bank. On the affordable houses.
Yeah, so a litany of accusations. I put them together. They were coming to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I don't know what you guys think, but before you tell me what you guys think, I want to go back to Kimani Ichung'wah, who calls Gachagua a rigigun. He was, I don't know, I think when Gachagua says that there are moles, he has moles in government. I think government also has moles in his camp, because they were too ready to counter him. Let's go.
It is ironical that the man purporting to speak about security is on record to mobilize members of outlawed gangs to protect churches, political rallies, and polling stations. And you have heard yourselves, Mr. Rigathi, even on media interviews, telling Kenyans that hata sisi hatujabeba watoto kwa migongo. And this is his way of telling and mobilizing the Mungiki goons that he has been mobilizing to attack Kenyans. And we want to ask him, isn't this goonism? Rigathi is Kenya's chief goon, Kenya's goon number 1. Have we forgotten how 2 years ago he mobilized his fellow goons to invade Northlands Farm, belonging to the Kenyatta family, destroyed property, stole sheep belonging to Mama Ngina, a widow and our nation's very first lady. This is what the goonism and anarchy that Gachagua continues to perpetuate today then runs to cry foul, and crying louder than the bereaved. In particular, he has been very consistent in the last few days, alleging that there were guns stolen from Kikuyu police station. In fact, those firearms were stolen in the demonstrations in 2025, organized by Rigathi himself. Rigigun is a disgrace to this country. In this demonstration, Rigigun organized for the torching of Dagoretti police post.
I know why he's ranting today. is because of what happened in Naivasha the last 2 days. He saw the numbers. He saw the numbers. Yes. He saw the force. He saw the organizational. You know. Now he has realized he's only working with 3 people. Yes. A man who cannot shave his beard, and another one we don't know what he is, just making noise here in Kiambu. Yes. So he's scared, I know. Yes. And I know he will get. I knew yesterday with those numbers, Rigathi will get scared and he'll start maligning people's names. Yes. You know, long time in Parliament here, in the old Constitution, members of Parliament used to be told to go get proficiency in English or Swahili. It's high time now we introduce a bill in this Parliament that psychiatric test must be done on leaders. You go to Dr. What is his name? Dr. Njeng Franka, and you get a certificate. Because imagine having a madman like Gachagua in a leadership position. You know, madness is not removing clothes only. You can be dressed with a suit and a tie and you are a madman. Rigathi is on a fishing expedition. Desperate for attention to salvage his dwindling political virtues, disillusioned by his lack of national influence and bleak political future. He's a liar, a cheat, a conman, a political turncoat. A conman, callous and extremely unpatriotic. No wonder he has a dark heart. Lastly, I want to say this, and this one I want to make it very clear to him. ODM, my party, will never be in any formation that has Rigathi Gachagua inside. No. For now, into the future, and even for the next 50 years, if he's still alive. So stop talking about ODM. We will never be with you. And if ODM is dead, as you are saying, why are you talking about it? If ODM is dead, why are you talking about it? Do we normally talk about dead people? No. Why are you talking about a dead thing? He knows ODM is not dead. He knows very well that he has lost this plot. He wants us to be in the street and continue being in government until we removed him here for gross violation. Anyway.
Well, you know, when I started looking at this conversation with Yambu, Mundalo, and Osiemo in the around afternoon time, I was thinking that we were going to audit these things and say, okay, where is the lie and where do we have the lie? But I don't know whether that serves any purpose, because
we can't speak of where is the lie and where is not the lie.
Yeah.
Because unless we have the repository of information that will either check objectively.
Yeah.
I think fact checking should be done very objectively.
Yeah.
None of us on this bench is objective when it comes to these candidates. Maybe Mundalo is a little bit. Me, I'm not.
Yeah, you are not objective.
Yeah, I'm not objective on when it comes to
because that's
I'm not objective. Yeah, I can only analyze the communication beat, and I can tell you Junet's response is the most effective one.
Yeah.
Nani, how do you call him?
Kimani Ichung'wah.
Kimani Ichung'wah is not effective because Kimani Ichung'wah.
Okay. Let's talk about the communication around it then. Lawyer, are you ready?
Yeah, very ready.
Okay. Kimani Ichung'wah,
I want to hear what Odhiambo has to say on this.
Kimani Ichung'wah sounds offensive to the elder of the community.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a way that Kimani Ichung'wah's response only bolsters the hate towards President Ruto from Mount Kenya.
Okay.
Because Kimani Ichung'wah is a protege of President Ruto.
Okay.
So his response has no effect in terms of bolstering President Ruto's image. Instead, it pushes people away from President Ruto. You need somebody to pour cold water on Gachagua's remarks.
Okay.
Not somebody who brands him as a goon, etc. It hurts them if you call Rigathi a goon.
Yeah.
But someone like Junet, one, he's known as a chief propagandist. He's very effective. And Raila loved him for his effectiveness in terms of gab.
Yeah.
He has the gift of gab. When he stands
I was being told something about Junet the other day that I laughed my heart out.
I've told you, I would meet Junet in Raila's house in Karen every morning. He was the first politician to arrive at Raila's house.
Yeah.
With the Soweto, the lawyer for Orengo. And I know Jacob really loved Junet properly because Junet is gifted. And you see, Junet's effect comes to just pouring cold water. And anafanya chuodo on what Nani is saying, on what Gachagua is saying. He just makes mud out of it and it disappears. It does not hold anymore. So it becomes a Junet versus Gachagua thing instead of Kimani versus Gachagua. And we can try and see the merits, but communication-wise, Junet is very effective in that one. That I agree. Yeah.
Mr. Osiemo, what do you think?
I think It is very unfortunate that somebody like Junet can speak actually on such issues. When you look at his constituency and the level of poverty in that constituency.
Which one is this?
Suna East.
Suna East?
Yes. So you really have to.
It is very interesting that you know about Junet's constituency. When did you learn about Junet's constituency?
There's a time.
Very interesting.
Actually, there's a time when people were looking at some of these MPs and what they've done actually for their people. And when you look at the level, the state of the schools in that constituency and so on and so forth. And this is actually my biggest criticism for leaders from Luo Nyanza, Kisii, and Western. You see, Kimani Ichung'wah will be a hornbill for all he wants. But you go to Kikuyu as a constituency and see the level of development. So he'll speak all manner of things and you'll hate him. But his people love him because he actually delivers to the people. So
do you think they are going to vote for him if he remains in UDA?
You could tell from his voice, he sounds like somebody whose energy has been sucked out of him actually. He sounds like, okay, I want to criticize you, but then he's also worried actually.
He's very worried. You can feel it in his voice.
Yeah, even Odhiambo noticed it from his voice that he feels like somebody who's almost defeated. But Junet was very,
was very happy.
Energetic. He knows at the end of the day, what may, he'll be elected into parliament. And as to the objectivity of what Rigathi was raising, I always say that I really don't care where William Ruto got Rigathi Gachagua from, but insofar as I'm concerned, he is his biggest headache. And to that extent, I'm very happy with Rigathi Gachagua because no other person, save for maybe Edwin Sifuna, is directly responding to the president. And you can see that of late, the president is only focusing on Edwin Sifuna and Rigathi Gachagua, and that the other people, he's not much concerned about them. I mean, it is public knowledge that William Ruto lies without blinking. And I mean, if we could have another name for William Ruto, it would be, lying. Because when you stand up and say that people can fish in Nairobi River and even drink that water, it's been, 2-3 years down the line? Anybody can see that for themselves. It's not the case. On the issue of public-private partnerships, from an economic standpoint, it's not the issue, really. It is the manner in which it's done. If you can remember the deal with Adani, people were not really objecting that we have a private person who's doing modernization. It's the manner in which, how did we procure and are we getting value for money? And to the issue also, there are issues of divestiture of Kenya Pipeline, of Safaricom. I always hold the notion that government has no business in doing business. Leave that to private sector actors, in that you control the social aspects of society and also the critical aspects such as security. That has to be a mandate of the state.
Okay.
So that is security, healthcare, education, the social amenities of it. The criticism, however, arises that
there is something there that you're saying that is interesting, that the government should not be involved in business.
Yes.
So it was correct for them to sell the shares.
Yes, actually, I would support
so that they're not doing business.
Yes, and the reason as to why I'll say I'll support the issue of divestiture is very simple. Government, in all true form, has no business doing business. But the problem, for instance, like the sale of Safaricom shares that was being argued, is that we shouldn't. It's not that we shouldn't sell Safaricom shares. It's that how much are we selling them for? I can comfortably sit here and tell you that at its all-time high, Safaricom shares have hit notes of 40 shillings a share. So if that is its all-time high, and that was before Safaricom divested into Ethiopia. Okay. Actually, most Kenyans don't know this, but Safaricom actually has diversified into Ethiopia. And this year, Safaricom is breaking even in the Ethiopian market. Why is this very important? In a country whereby you have about 148 million citizens, that is almost 3 times the size of Kenya, and where the median age is about 19. So it goes to show that if Safaricom can even have half the success it has in Kenya and Ethiopia, then therefore the value of that company is very high. It's not that people are complaining that we shouldn't sell. It's that for how much are we selling? Number two, the president makes a case that some of these proceeds are going to the National Infrastructure Fund and also the Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Yeah.
I want to be on record saying that the ideas are not the problem. It's rather how you implement it. Would you, for instance, sell a chicken that lays eggs and go get, another chicken that doesn't lay eggs? Because from Safaricom, government was assured of dividends every year, which actually increases over time. So therefore, if you
I have actually seen people selling pregnant cows.
Well,
they're not called pregnant
and
cows.
how much
They're
do
called
they price? With their full knowledge.
Yeah,
you can't call a cow pregnant. It's called in-calf. Leave the cows alone.
What? Where would I supposed to know that word from? Where am I supposed to know that word from? In what?
But
in Gulf.
In what did he say?
In Gulf.
In Gulf.
I didn't know actually.
You didn't know?
Yeah.
Mundalo, only communication consultant.
Now, so to my point actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead, yes.
When and that's why I started by saying that the biggest challenge that the president faces is a lack of sufficient resources to really put into action what he wants to do. So that's why you see him selling some of these stakes that government has in some of these corporations or businesses. So that if you are going to sell these shares and then this money is now going to be put on roads and so on and so forth. And then also the other concept was the Sovereign Wealth Fund. It is a good idea, fantastic. You can look at, for instance, the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund. It has almost how many trillion?
A lot. I think it is only second to Saudi Arabia, or I think Saudi Arabia
might be the biggest.
The biggest.
Or something.
I think so. It has been surpassed by Saudi Arabia most recently.
So, but now the question is a trust deficit, because Kenyans like, okay, true, but are you actually going to do what you say that you're going to do it in terms of investing this money for future generations? Because if you sell your stake in Safaricom, which was already a minority stake, in a functional business, then where are you going to invest the money? I'm curious to see where government actually is going to invest that money. So from where I sit, of course, we all know that most of the people in government just wake up to defend even the indefensible.
Yeah.
Really, because there is nothing to show for it.
So we have some claims by claims. Weston Hotel received 37 public contracts worth hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Okay. Weston and this is actually captured in The Nation. The Nation media group actually runs this story and reports 37 tenders with combined disclosed value of 57.9 million. Gachagua has a problem with this one. So the assumption here is that what?
There's no assumption.
Okay.
And there's no harm in Weston doing business with any corporation or any ministry of the government. There's no harm, unless there's a restriction in law that says that Weston Hotel should not do business because it is owned by the president or because it is associated with people who are close to the president, like the daughter. If there's an express restriction, then that is fine. But now, what is being seen is that it is receiving undue advantage.
Okay.
But can we also compare this against other hotels?
Yeah, because that is the most interesting thing, because the Nation itself says that they only say that more than, but they do not give us any other hotel and how much those hotels actually received. So it is difficult, because that is why even the analysis says that this is partly true.
Yeah.
But we can't tell, the others, how much are they getting?
Because let me say this. Weston Hotel, I don't know if you've gone there.
I have gone to Weston Hotel. I did a book launch at the Weston Hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you even just if you compare Weston Hotel in terms of its facility, conferencing capacity, against let's say JW Marriott or Kempinski or Olemara Sereni, you will find that Ole Sereni, for example, is bigger than Weston, you can't tell me that the business that Weston has handled in terms of conference capacity is more than the ones that Olemara has handled. And it's more than Naivasha, because governments are always in Naivasha. They're not always in Nairobi. So unless, it is true that Weston did business with government. It is a fact. Nobody's denying it. And it's not also criminal that it can do business with the government. The only thing is, it is seen as such because we don't have a further comparative analysis.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we had the advantage of checking further comparative analysis, and let's say Weston Hotel got 2 billion per parastatal, that is stupid. I mean, that
but is 57 million equal to the wording of hundreds of millions?
No.
Is it the same?
No, it's not the same. It is 57 million is small money for government. That is not even a department of government. Too small money. So of course, but it's good that we can actually audit and see that what is Weston Hotel doing. It is a good thing. Our democracy is allowing it. It's beautiful. This is accountability.
Wamunyoro had a hotel the other side of his home. What is it called?
Even just here.
He's not getting some.
Even that hotel.
No, but it would be very unfair to the government. If we found out that Rigaji's hotel has not even gotten 3 million from government, I'll blame the government.
If we do an audit of even how he got the hotel.
Oh no, the humble.
No, but
okay.
Look at the way he obtained that hotel and gave it to his sons to manage. It was by way of influencing government process for him to get that hotel.
What hotel are you talking about?
The one that is in Mount Kenya somewhere, Aberdare or somewhere. It's a government hotel that was leased to him.
Leased?
Yes, it's a long lease. You remember during the impeachment?
Okay.
There was a question about a hotel that he, quote unquote, he obtained irregularly.
That was in the charge?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It was there. I watched all the proceedings because
there was.
There are hotels mentioned. Yes.
Just Google.
But okay, what is the point?
The point is that we are doing a comparison, right?
Yeah.
Of misuse of government resources.
Yeah.
And Rigiji is right to point that hey, there is misuse in terms of Weston Hotel receiving some business. And what I'm saying is, it is not wrong. For Weston Hotel to receive business from the government, right? Just the same way, let's now look at Rigiji in the eye and ask ourselves, has Rigiji gained undue advantage? Unlike Weston, which is doing legal business. Yes, it has been cited. Rigiji has been cited in an impeachment case that he did. Nani, I wanted to get that.
It's actually true. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, there's that hotel which he obtained a long lease unfairly.
Too much.
Yeah, he obtained it unfairly. So if we are looking at apples versus oranges, then we must now see, as Rigiji says, whatever has been reported in the media, it is partly true. He's also benefited in a manner. Yeah, and we're not saying two wrongs make a right. But his darkness is dark.
The gentleman had a point, Mr. Mundalo. Mr. Mundalo, you had a point, eh?
Yeah, you know, I find it difficult to discuss a serious matter about a petty subject.
Okay.
Because the struggle is to really make the conversation serious, yet the subject base is already, it's petty. And I look at it and I feel like Kenyans have also risen above a certain caliber.
Okay.
And there's a way they treat Rigathi Gachagua today. At some point, they treated him as somebody who would counter President William Ruto. They have risen, now they treat him as, I think, an entertainer. And so most people listen to him from an entertainment perspective and not a serious perspective. And that's why any struggle to really come up with a serious conversation around him becomes extremely difficult. That's why you would have conversations around, you see, to the extreme of struggling to deal with a political career, that you start resurrecting people who their families are still struggling with the pain of loss, but you'd want to discuss them from a point of gaining political advantage. You have to be very extreme to get to those levels. You have to be extremely petty to get to those levels. But I'm able to see that. And that's why I agree with Odhiambo when he says that Junet was the best to make this, to respond to him. Because again, Kimani Ichung'wah sits at a place where he's a serious economist. I think he's a CPAK. And he was the first MP to actually be gazetted as Member of Parliament because he went unopposed. And we have been able to see his credentials as a person who can have a stand. Kimani Ichung'wah
went unopposed.
He went unopposed. And so that is the caliber of person who I
The
rank.
only one in Kenya.
Yeah, he's the only one.
So if you go unopposed, you don't. People do not vote.
Ndindi was opposed. No, Ndindi was opposed. Ndindi won an election.
Okay.
But Kimani Ichung'wah went unopposed. So the caliber of Kimani Ichung'wah and how he has previously stood his ground, not just today, but even when he was giving us headache in Jubilee, he has remained a consistent person. I judge him at that time when he was giving us headache. I judged him very harshly, and I thought it's actually political convenience. But today I'm able to know that this is just a gentleman with a stand. He's able to say, "I will go this direction," and he'll go that direction.
Right.
So he ranks so highly for him to even bend low to become a responder to Rigathi Gachagua. I think Rigathi just needs someone petty to be responding to those theatrics.
Yeah.
Because for me, they are just a common entertainment. Because most of those allegations he makes, like the ones my friend is talking about, Safaricom shares and all that. Safaricom once had 100%, government once had 100% stake in Safaricom. President Kibaki sold these shares at that time. Today and that time, when these shares were being sold, no one was auditing, no one knows where the money went to. This is the first time there is a place where the money is going to. But this is also the time when someone wants to act as an expert. Remember, the figures that you talk about in terms of we had better figures to sell Safaricom at. The Committee of Finance waited for Ndindi a whole day to go and give those better figures.
Yeah, he never showed up.
And he never showed up. So that is the kind of person we cannot be able to be having those kind of.
You have to respond to that one.
Those kind of discussions. So for me, I feel like
you must respond.
Rigathi was doing the normal, the normal Rigathi theatrics. He was basically doing the normal thing that he does, exercising his politics, exercising his expediency, trying very much to ensure that he is relevant. If there is something I give to him, is that Rigathi has mastered the art of being relevant within the political space, because he'll always have something to say about anything and everything, including nothing. So I don't find much to actually put as a response to what Rigathi said, because when someone can discuss former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, whose family is still in pain, in the fashion with which he did, I think it will be bizarre of us to actually sit down and even give that kind of conversation airtime.
People of the internet, I want to give you the link of what we came up with when I was trying to audit what Rigiji was saying. I am going to post it actually on the chat so that you can have a look at it at your own time, because I've put it there so that you have a look at it. There are links leading out to different news articles that support or does not support. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it, but I want to go to Mr. Gachagua. Mr. Gachagua has talked about the State House budget rose from 8 billion to 18 billion. That is mostly true. It is supported by different, very verifiable sources, including the Auditor-General report, the National Treasury, and then there is a number 3, which is more than 11 billion on eCitizen collected lacked proper accountability. Broadly true, but imprecise. Again, I have.
And it has always been going up. The State House budget has always been going up.
Yeah, so the Shaft technology system cost 104 billion, but was worth 800 million. That is Rigathi Gachagua coming up with his own figure that was 800 million, which is, the verdict is misleading and unproven. And there are a lot of places to check that. SHA loses 6 billion monthly and owes providers 104.5 billion. That is unverified and overstated. All right, you can see it at The Nation. The Guardian also talks about it. They talked about Auditor-General findings on the affordable housing program, partly supported. That is in the Auditor-General's report. There is the housing levy is invested through a private CMA licensed firm linked to Ruto and verified. Because if you look at the capital reports, there is a link there. Affordable Housing Board, there is a link there that they have put together. Ruto promised fish in Nairobi River by 25th December 2025. Partly true. Actually, it is carried up in the Standard, in the Star, when Ruto was saying that. But I'm wondering, who was believing these things?
It would take a lot of courage to actually believe those things. But some actually have that courage.
Yeah. Okay, Kenya Pipeline Company was surrendered to a neighboring country. That is false and misleading. It was never surrendered to Uganda. The links are there. Safaricom 15% stake was sold at a grossly undervalued 34 per share. The transaction figures are true. The undervaluation claim is not supported anywhere, but I think a lot of people, including Didi Nyoro, believes that was the case. Okay, Kenya remit more than 100 billion to NSSF every month. False on the monthly figure. Available reporting places NSSF contributions nearly 100 billion per year, not per month. NSSF also has reported an investment portfolio of approximately 558 billion by June 2025, which also contradicts the idea that it receives 1.2 trillion every year. NSSF participation in infrastructure is real. According to Reuters, NSSF was to contribute 45% of the equity portion for one phase of the Rironi-Mau Summit Road. That is also supported with NSSF Kenya investments. And again, that story is carried in the dailies. Again, he says 45 billion was transferred from the Universal Service Fund to NIS for a 2.5 billion ICT system. Again, that is unverified. No Communications Authority's resolution, Treasury record, Parliamentary report, procurement notice, court record or Auditor-General report was found confirming the 45 billion transfer. The 2.5 billion valuation or the alleged private loan arrangement. So those are the issues. Then it talks about CRBC receiving 1.2 trillion in project and is a conduit for corruption. All right, partially verifiable. The corruption conclusion is unproven. I want to go back to you.
Yeah. So let me pick it off from Mundalo.
Yes.
And the arguments he makes for Safaricom. As I began earlier in the podcast, I said that finance is a topic that is very close to my heart. And financial freedom is something that I do. And one of the ways I do this is help people build portfolios in the equities market.
Okay.
That is the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So speaking from
what
somebody...
is building equity market?
Building a portfolio means that you own a share of business.
Yeah,
and
I think I hold forth for the audience.
Yes.
Forgive me if I ask stupid questions, but I'm also not a very finance kind of person.
Do you understand fractional ownership of something?
Huh?
Do you understand fractional ownership?
Fraction of
ownership.
Fraction. Yeah.
Basically let's say.
Yeah, but let him explain.
Basically, let's say there are numerous banks in Kenya. You have Kenya Commercial Bank, Equity, and so on.
Don't mind them.
So you can have, you can own a piece of every share of these companies in your portfolio. A portfolio basically shows you what companies do you own and what percentage do you own. So when you consider when to buy or when to sell a stock is majorly driven by what we call valuation.
Okay.
We look at what are your total assets, what are your total liabilities, what is the rate of growth that you have, and when we look at future valuation, where are you most likely to be?
Okay.
So the reason as to why I don't contest Kenya Pipeline vis-a-vis Safaricom is actually for Kenya Pipeline, government got a good deal. Very good deal. If you compare
is that so?
Very good. If you compare it to the energy sector in terms of that is Kenya Power and Lightning Company and Kengen, the valuation for Kenya Pipeline was actually a premium. So they sold it more than its actual value. But now for Safaricom, the problem comes in whereby, number one, the reason as to why that share tanked that much is that they invested heavily in Ethiopia. So when you are only recovering from that investment and that your profits are back to where they used to be, and you've entered a market that is 3 times the size of Kenya, and your growth rate is in double digits, and that you've actually broken even, is that in fact in the very not so distant future we'll be sitting here and I promise you that Safaricom share will hit more than 70 shillings in maybe probably 2-3 years.
What is it now?
Now it's around, it plays between 34 to 36 thereabout. So that is also a consideration that you have, because you see, the more the valuation of a company, the more profits it makes, because now it is making money both in Kenya and Ethiopia. So therefore, also the dividends it pays per share will increase over time. So actually, in fact, I expected government to be open to this, because they stood to benefit more if they sold Safaricom at a higher price. Not even us, because at the end of the day, they'd make more money from selling Safaricom at a higher valuation. But be it as it may, it has already been sold.
Do you agree with the selling? You don't agree with the selling?
I don't agree. It's not because they did the selling. It is the value. It's an issue of valuation rather. Purely valuation.
But it is a feeling from insiders like you.
No. If you do the numbers,
okay.
If you get any finance guy to tell you actually would they sell Safaricom at that valuation, considering the stake that government had,
okay,
they will tell you they can sell but higher, because you see it's like going to an auction. There's the starting price.
Yes.
But because you have so many bidders, you can sell at a higher price because everybody is competing. But the case we had here is that we had only one buyer, not because we don't have prospective buyers, but because you restricted this to only one buyer.
Why? Why was it restricted?
That is now the question.
So this is the issue, right?
Yes.
So this is a fattened calf that should have been in the market.
Yes.
For everybody to try buy.
If you offer me 10,000,
but they offered it only to Odhiambo.
Yes, that is actually the biggest challenge.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Odhiambo. Why were you the only one buying it?
So there's no harm, first of all, in the government.
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal
for
the government to sell their share at the price that they want. If they want to sell at the price of a song, that's fine.
No, that's misleading. Government is a trustee of the people.
Of course.
It is not your property.
Of course.
It is my property.
Of course.
So there should have been public participation.
No. That's not where we are getting
it
wrong.
Anyway.
No.
They didn't invite the public.
Wait.
At KCC.
Remember,
Let's also be factual.
I'm not saying actually that public participation.
What do you mean?
No. The reality is that number one, it is government shares.
Okay.
Government was not selling Safaricom.
Yes.
Okay.
Government was offsetting or offloading its shares.
Okay.
So that it could raise capital to put somewhere else, to begin something else. It's allowed. It's legal. Now, it comes to the point of price questions. Indio?
Yeah.
The government called its people, okay, somewhere in KICC, and they held a discussion the whole day.
Which people? Oh, the Kenyans?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Because government is trustee of the people.
Now,
and remember, the price that was being offered, Jagero, was the highest. It was higher than market value.
Yes.
And there was this argument he has that was being advanced by his elder brother, Ndindi Nyoro.
Okay.
That we could get
brother.
And he said we could get better.
Okay.
Yes. And that is also true.
Finance committee sat down and invited him to come and provide the better figures.
He never
never showed up. And even the invitation to the public, because that's what public participation is about.
Yeah.
Can the public also be able to, maybe they would have information like my brother here who has said is certified, qualified, and above board.
And I like his grasp of the market.
Can they were able to say, can you be able to come and do what? Provide those better. And the truth is that no one showed up.
You see, Jagero, at some point we have to be Kenyans because, as I once said in this podcast, that the success of William Ruto is at the interest of every Kenyan.
Yeah.
We don't
the success of
the
presidency
president.
of William Ruto is at the benefit of all Kenyans. Is that we don't wake up every day to wish him
bad luck.
Yeah. No. If anything, we would want him to succeed as a leader, because if he succeeds, even this country also will succeed. But I
wonder why the two gentlemen are so happy with that statement.
Because let me land. Now you see the problem where we slightly differ. Number one is as follows.
Oh my goodness!
That they claim that Ndindi Nyoro did not go to the finance committee, which is actually false. He actually went there and they asked these questions. And not only there, but repeatedly he said that it's not that we shouldn't sell the Safaricom shares, but rather can we have an open market whereby we can see who wants to buy, so that if the corporation from South Africa is offering us that 4 shillings a share, somebody else can offer us 40 shillings, and so on and so forth. There was no harm, I feel like, in opening that bid
or
to
in
other
waiting.
people. You understand? So that if it is that 34 shillings is the best price that you're getting, so be it. But from where I stand, I can tell you for a fact, we will be here. That share is going to be far much more valuable.
And you see, the beauty of things is that the government is not restricted from once again buying shares if it is being offloaded. If some shareholders are offloading their shares from Safaricom, the government is open to buy, because the government has extreme money that does not run out. And so for now, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
suddenly you have extreme money.
There's extreme money, extreme, and I say extreme in the essence of extreme. Yeah, because to you and me, extreme could be 100 million or 200. I don't know if you're given 100 million, it could sound extreme. To somebody, 1 billion could be extreme, but the government is having trillions in a year.
No, government does not have trillions.
It has. The only challenge is we raise 2.65 trillion in a year.
Yes,
that's extreme money. So the expenditure is the question you have. But I'm saying in terms of, in fact, we're even, I suspect KRA has been under declaring for a long time. County governments have been under declaring for a long time. And we are under collecting by far.
We are not, I don't think we are under
collecting.
We are collecting, but we are not seeing it.
We are under collecting. We are under declaring.
Kama anyway, Sonko alikuwa anapewa 50 million 7 years ago.
I mean, move on. 50 million ni pesa kidogo.
Per day. We will not move on, Bwana. What do you mean?
But we're talking about something, and you cannot return us to.
Okay,
Sonko.
no worries. Yeah. My apologies.
Yeah.
I think Jagger is tired.
He's tired. So anyway, I do agree with my brother Simo that
yes, people of the internet are going to be taking calls shortly.
We could get a better price for the shares. That's true. The government was the one offloading its shares. Whichever way they wanted to use to offload their shares, they called the people, they talked. If there was monkey business, I think there are procedures that should be followed to ensure that these things are held to account. And I've always said, our biggest hotel CMO in this country has always been one institution, the Parliament of Kenya, because they're the ones who hold brief on behalf of the people. And if they don't properly represent the interests of the people, because they don't understand what they're doing, then the best thing is just to recycle them or push them, because
and on that one, that's why I've always argued that the best thing to do is for the people to be aware that they need to get better people in parliament. At
like
the end of the day, it will always be about, that's why I'm usually not in the business of defending the people against their parliament.
Yeah.
Because it is them who put the parliament there. So whatever the parliament does, that is the interest of the people.
And actually, on that one, I'll agree with the both of them that the biggest, we can have a failed presidency, but we cannot afford to have a failed parliament.
Correct.
Because now that is at the expense of Kenyans, because parliament is the body in charge of making, for instance, revenue distribution. They're the ones who decide how are we going to raise money and how are we going to spend that
the money.
It's not actually the So insofar as also we don't have people who know what they are doing, we are going to suffer.
Okay.
For sure.
That's why we are asking
people of the internet, you can call us. I would love if you can call us on the normal line. Safaricom, WhatsApp sometimes a bit difficult. So if you can call us on normal line, we have the first caller. I don't know, this is the guy from Kakamega or where?
Udiambo.
Sounds like Udiambo from Kakamega. Hello? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear. What is your name and where are you calling us from, sir?
My name is John Omawauti. I'm calling.
Mera.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, so I want to comment on something.
Okay.
Regarding the Gachagua matter.
The Gachagua presser today.
Yeah, the Gachagua presser today.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that Gachagua is very correct. I'm not a supporter of Gachagua in the first place.
Okay.
I'm a Luo. I'm from Siaya, but I'm residing in Mombasa.
Where do you reside?
I reside in Mombasa. Currently, I'm in Mombasa.
Okay.
Yes, Gachagua is very correct, because you see the Ruto government, what the Ruto government is doing is that they are launching a lot of projects that are not viable to the economy, but these projects, they are directly benefiting from them by supplying materials.
Okay.
That's very true. We can't deny that.
How do you know about this?
We can check. Can you check the company that is supplying the materials of affordable housing?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Mundalo is asking me which one is it.
Just check. You have the facts. And Mudala and Odhiambo have one problem. However much you can support this government, however much you support it, you try to be clean, the president is saying this, is saying that. This government is a total shit and a total heck. of a government.
The point is yours, my brother. The point is yours.
Yes, the point is mine.
About a company. We are just requesting that you tell us the company.
Just check. Who is supplying? First of all, what is rice supplying? And can you check the relationship of Brian and Ruto?
Can you just tell us?
No. Just check the relationship of Brian and Ruto. What's the relationship between Brian and Ruto? Devki and Ruto, what's the relationship between the two?
What would you prefer?
Suddenly Devki realized that President Ruto is the best president of Kenya. Just answer that to them. When did the president realize of all the billionaires in Kenya, President, or the only billionaire that has realized President Ruto is the best?
Can I ask a question?
Why? Because no, Jambo, don't ask the questions today. Can you just relax for Jambo?
Why?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance. So I wanted to ask you a question. You know the political regime that we are in, or the political philosophy that our democracy exists in. You understand what it is?
Yes.
We are not communist, right?
Yes, we are not.
We are capitalist, right?
We are capitalist, but a middle of both. Between communist and capitalist, Kenya practices both.
Okay, so the middle of communist and capitalist is called?
You tell me.
But the point is yours.
The point is yours. That's what I'm asking.
But the question is yours.
Yeah, you've said we are in the middle of communism. And
no, Obiambo. Obiambo, you are a Luo, I'm a Luo. Let's just speak facts. This government is correct. This is a reg of a government, Obiambo. Let's speak facts, brother. What are we doing that for?
No. Let's speak English. Let's speak English.
It's a kickback. Whatever the Gachagua is saying is spot on. Why? If the Gachagua is saying something wrong,
we're not denying.
No. Listen, Obiambo. If Gachagua is wrong, then let President Ruto hold the presser and deny the fact, not Imani Ichung'wah and Junet.
So the problem
if Gachagua is truly wrong, why doesn't President Ruto come and deny the fact?
The problem you have is that you need the president to not to work with the Devki, for example.
No, Obiambo. The day President Ruto will sit on a press conference and say that he is not doing this and that, we might say that he's not. But whatever Ichung'wah said, they didn't even speak anything about the government achievements. They simply attacked Gachagua.
But you said something, sir. When you started talking, you said the problem with this government is that it is initiating too much projects, and these projects are not benefiting the people. It's benefiting them.
Yeah, it's not. Let me ask you, what is Talanta going to benefit the people today or tomorrow? What is it going to benefit the people?
You don't know how a stadium benefits the people.
No. What is it going to benefit the people, Diambo? Let me ask you, was it important to build Talanta Stadium or to invest in football in Western Kenya? What was important to Diambo?
Are you a sportsman?
Just answer the question. What was important? Was it important?
Are you a sportsman?
No, I'm not a spokesman. What do you want?
So sportsmen, we have so many talented people in this country who play football. Yeah. We have people who play.
No, Otiambo. Would you just answer my question?
Just answer this question. You're an anarchist, bro.
It will make better sense.
Okay, let's go to another caller. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, how are you, my brother? Where are you calling us from, and what's your name?
Name is Abdi. I'm calling from Nyanyuki.
What's your name?
Abdi. My name is Abdi. I'm calling from Nyanyuki.
All right, go ahead.
I just want to address very quickly. Odhiambo said that I see that he's falling backwards, defending Ruto in the sense that when the question is asked, and he always says this, perception is reality.
Okay.
When Weston Hotels, all right, let's say gets X amount, the idea that a president's hotel is in any way getting contracts from the same state government, I think we can all agree it is improper. But at the same time, not that I'm a fan of Gachagua, but we should be fair. But the moment you talk about how Gachagua hotel is not getting any money, he says, first of all, let's address how he got that hotel. But can we also ask, how did Ruto get the same said hotel also? Can we also address that? Weston Hotel sits on a grabbed land. This story was in the top of the nation right before the election, in which a company that supposedly his wife and son bought from shared the same post office box. That's how ridiculous it was. So when we're talking about the appearance of impropriety, let's start from the head of the state who says that he does not want corruption in his government, but at the same time, his hotel, it doesn't matter how much it gets, it is improper and it's a conflict of interest.
All right. Odhiambo,
Yes,
have you taken off from answering the question?
Please address that.
Yeah, it looks like...
Yes, please address, because we should be fair.
Odhiambo, the question
yes, we should be fair.
It is improper for government to be doing business.
It is improper for a sitting government or for a sitting president in his state government that his hotel is getting. It is improper. It doesn't matter that why are we saying that it should be comparative to other hotels nearby? No. That's not how it works.
Okay, so
it is inevitable.
Let me tell you a few things. I agree with you.
Go
in
ahead.
the world, it is improper for government officers to do business. Okay, it's of course improper. Even if you look at the constitution and article.
So you repeat that again. You said it is improper for government to do business. Is that what you said?
I don't know if you're listening to me.
Proceed. Let him listen.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to understand what you said. You said it is improper
for government officers to do business with government itself, because that is gaining undue advantage. Sindio? If you look at...
Absolutely. We agree on that 100%.
Thank you. I want us to go very, very legal and very slowly. If you look at the articles, the CR12 of Weston Hotel.
Okay.
Do you have it? Who is the director?
No, this is the part. Okay, I'll answer your question, but this also say I'll answer your question, but first I will pose this to you. Okay? The appearance of impropriety should be enough. But when we go back and we say the said hotel in which all of us know belongs to Ruto, and then we say he's not sitting in one of the board of directors, it will be ridiculous to pose that question. Would you agree?
My brother, that's what I'm saying. We have agreed that it is improper according to law for a government officer to do business with government. It is conflict of interest. And now, in the same...
A government officer, which includes the president, right? Which includes the president.
In the same...
Which includes the sitting president, right?
Yes, it's true. That's a fact.
Including the sitting president, because when you say government officer, I'm assuming you're talking about somebody junior. But we're saying it includes the president, is that right?
No, and a government officer is anybody who is in government, and you've seen that people who sit next to government or who sit in government and do illegal business with government, that those property are always collected by what? By EACC. You've seen that in this country, right?
But I feel like we're talking about this apple and oranges, because what you're talking about is, we're not talking about corruption. We're talking about if a sitting president whose hotel receives, okay, we're not going to say hundreds, but it receives millions, there is an appearance of impropriety. That's what you're talking about.
Was this business legal?
Yes.
Was it legal?
No, what you're talking about here,
it was illegal. The business was illegal.
I'm not saying it is illegal.
Okay, so if it's not illegal, then it has respected the laws of the land.
Go ahead.
Your hate for President Ruto should not blind you from...
It's no hate, my brother. Let's not reduce. Let's not reduce.
And look at who owns Weston Hotel. There's no William Ruto.
But this is what I'm saying.
You go and read properly.
But this is what I'm saying.
Make arguments which are reasonable.
Okay, my brother, don't get angry. No. Let me address you very quickly. Let me quickly.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, let me quickly answer what you said. There's no need.
You're saying something which is
get angry, my brother. There is no need.
Yeah, it is improper to do business.
Yes,
with government.
Please be rational. Be rational. When we are exchanging
a small child knows that hotel is Ruto's.
I mean, the question then becomes.
No, but exactly that is the point. But let me just make a point. Let me make a very clear point before I give the chance to somebody. Let me quickly.
The law does not operate. What do we all know?
Yeah,
my brother, let Odhiambo.
Come on, man.
Odhiambo, give me a chance. a chance to speak, Odhiambo.
Give me a chance.
Odhiambo.
Safaricom Hotel has been the
Odhiambo, give me a chance, yawa.
Yeah, so
Odhiambo,
okay.
Let me quickly finish my point.
I did not get your name. What your name is Abdi?
Let me quickly finish the point.
Your name is
my
Abdi.
Let me quickly finish my point. Yes, my name is Abdi. Yes, let me quickly finish the point. Ngoja kidogo Odhiambo yawa. Wacha kukasirika, my brother.
No, we're not running away.
Joachim is not here. Joachim is not here today. We knew that you're going to be rational. Utakuwa emotional. That's what happened today. Let me finish my point. Very quickly.
Hello. Hello,
Jagera.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling us from, my brother?
I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, ile kitu nilikuwa nataka kusema.
Yes.
Ni kwamba kuambia Odhiambo Tieno, what is good for goose is good for the gander. Ama mkuki kwa nguruwe ni mtamu, kwa binadamu ni mchungu.
Okay.
So whatever he's saying about the Weston Hotel, it is straight for him. Na ni vizuri kwake. But ile siku Gachagua atakuja kuchukua uongozi, alafu aeke ile hoteli yake ya nini ichukue tenda zote, then alalamike, then he start to saying that it looks bad. I think we have an act. In fact, it's an act because Ruto signed it, ambayo inaitwa conflict of interest. Nimejaribu Google, I have not found it, and I think I'll have to look at it clearly and see what does it say. Because I think that conflict of interest bill was supposed to cure what we are talking about now. Government is not supposed.
Mr. The problem that I keep finding on this podcast, is very interesting because when somebody says that Ruto owns the Weston Hotel. And it is a rumor that is flying around, and somebody saying on the internet also on the comment section that even a small child knows that Ruto owns that hotel. But then, what does ownership mean actually? What exactly under the law does ownership mean? So when you tell me that Ruto owns Weston Hotel, and you want me to discuss on that premise, it becomes very difficult because then I don't know if actually Ruto owns it right now as we speak.
Let me solve this issue very simply.
Okay.
Let's say God forbid, Jagero become a president today.
Yes.
God forbid, that should be good.
And then Akwe president, yeah. God forbid Jagero become a president today.
Okay.
Alafu mwandikishane na Odhiambo Tieno.
Okay.
Hii kampuni ni yako, but wacha kwenye in the papers ionekane kampuni ni ya Odhiambo Otieno.
Okay.
And then all the advertisement, the government, zinaenda tu kwa political headache.
Okay.
In your conscience as a human being, wacha sasa tutoe kila kitu as a human being. Is that fair?
That is not fair. But also you can't say that I own that outfit. Because then we have to go back to the meeting where we agreed with this gentleman that he's going to own, but I'm going to channel all the adverts there because I was not in that meeting. So when you confront me and you tell me that is actually your company, now it becomes a very difficult conversation to have because then you don't know. I mean, at what point do you know that Ruto actually sat down with somebody and decided that Weston is being handed over to that? Do we know that about that meeting?
Because now, if you try to find out Nani and own Weston, you will not find his name there.
Yes.
But we all know in a Bilonkonani. Let's look from the history. How do I know? Very good question. Wait. Odhiambo, wait. Otieno is asking, how do I know? Sindio?
Look.
Listen.
Can I ask a question?
Listen. Ngoja kidogo. Umeuliza, how do I know?
Can I ask a question? If you're not, I'll ask. Thank you. So one. You understand the framework of capitalism?
Yeah, I understand.
The biggest premise that capitalism works on is profit at the expense of anybody and anything. You know that?
Ni kweli, capitalism is greedy.
It's very greedy. The reason as to why you and me are having a different economic level is because of capitalism.
And there is someone who told you we are between capitalism and communism, which is social democrat.
Thank you. Social democracy. Is Kenya...
Exactly.
Is
so
Kenya
we are social democrats.
Is Kenya a social democracy or Kenya is a republic?
Kenya is a social democrat.
Now, let me tell you a few things.
That's why we talk about free education. So, we talk about free medication. For me, I was raised in a place where I could go, unahitajika tu ununue kitabu. Kwanza hiyo kitabu ilikuwa inakatwa in half, an exercise book. Unaenda hospitali and that is what you only pay. A 10 shilling ya hiyo kitabu peke yake. So other treatments used to be free because we used to be social democrats.
I agree with you. There's a point I'm coming to. In a social democracy, you give birth to a republic. A republic is a democracy that takes care of the low of the lowest of the society, okay? And that's why we have social programs such as free primary education. We want universal health coverage. We want near free transport, okay? And many more services that unify the people, okay? So take that and set it aside. Now, once we understand that we're a social democracy and we're a republic born of that, the next question begs saying, how is capitalism still running the show in Kenya?
Because of our greed, we have people who go to tunapata watu ambao wanakuja kwenye hizo leadership with the name of making policies of diverting public resources to their pocket.
Do these guys, do they force themselves on the leadership, or there's a process by which they get to the leadership?
No, unajua hiyo ndio kitu. That is what the politicians have mastered. That wanatufanya sisi poor.
This simple question is, when you go to the ballot, nobody chapas you and tells you must vote Odhiambo.
And that's what I'm trying to answer you. Please let me build my context.
Go ahead.
Ni kwamba najaribu kusema what happens. The politicians wamekuwa very clever.
Yes.
That's why wanajaribu kutume poor so that we become beggars. So that when he come with 100 shilling, we see him like a god. So and he's the one who has put us in a situation that we cannot earn that 100 shilling legally.
Does the voter have the power to refuse to take 100 shilling from a politician?
No, that is the problem with our voters. Because now we are only going to our tribes.
So what I wanted to tell you in simple, umekuja nyumbani. In a very simple term, the biggest problem we have in this country are the voters. I will tell you that. And why do we have that problem?
Even me, I agree. I totally agree.
If you look at parliament, it's a representation of the voters' thinking. Okay?
And one thing that is very interesting, that the issue of Weston Hotel goes beyond 2022, all the way down.
Yes.
But at the height of 2022 elections, Ruto got 7 million votes.
Yeah. Yes. They knew.
I totally agree. And they knew, and they said too. And that's why. And that's what I'm.
So when you elect an axe to lead peace, what do you expect?
Yeah, I think. Diambo, come on, have some decorum. Diambo, have the hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from, my brother?
I'm Okanda calling you from Georgia.
Yes. Can you mute your device from which you're listening to us, brother?
Okay. Let me reduce the volume.
So that we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm having a lot of problem with Odhiambo for being a political.
Yeah, you are having a problem with Odhiambo.
And you, to a large extent, you're also questioning the ownership of Weston Hotel. Even you know subconsciously that
Sasa subconscious bwana. Sasa brother, subconscious bwana. Sasa I know subconsciously. I actually do not know the owner of Weston Hotel.
Yes, this issue too of Weston.
From before the election.
It is always hilarious.
Sorry.
We know that Ruto owned the hotel. In 2025 is when his name was removed from the list of stakeholders.
Wait, just read. Sorry, what was the name again?
But more than 52% of the hotel is owned by Rachel Ruto, and 30-something is owned by Charlene Ruto.
I have a question. Just a minute. I have a question. Is there a problem for Rachel Ruto, William Ruto, or Charlene Ruto to own some property in this country?
Odhiambo, before you ask me a question, you should first reflect, because your statement on Gachagua was very reflective.
Thank you. Let's listen to the last caller so that we can. Huyu jamaa anataka kwenda kwa bibi yake. Sasa nashangaa. Kuna kelele mingi. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. You are the last caller. You better be ready.
How are you, Jagero?
Fantastic evening.
Say hi to Odhiambo and Mundalo.
Odhiambo is getting all the heat. Mundalo is not getting as much.
The government apologist.
Yes. Who is that? Mr. Osiemo.
Mundalo. And today Mundalo is recruiting Odhiambo.
I think it is the other way around.
Odhiambo is becoming a government apologist.
I think it is the other way around.
That young guy that you have brought to the studio today, very, very objective.
Yes, very.
Very nice debater.
Yes.
I was just saying.
Okay.
That Rigathi was right.
Okay.
Yes, Rigathi was right.
Yeah.
And we love how he's anatupatia hizo information. We want that information. Wacha endelee kuleta hiyo information kabisa. Bas, asante.
Asante sana, brother. People of the internet, it has been a beautiful conversation. As always, a lot of people are asking you guys, kwani you fired Joachim? No. Joachim doesn't come every day. Joachim comes when he's supposed to be on set. So, all right. So I want to thank Mr. Odhiambo. Thank you very much for always being here. Contribution, goes low on this unbelievable support for the Nile Lord. Keep calm. Mr. Mundalo, thank you very much. I think I should give you guys an opportunity to say what you guys do apart from supporting Ruto, so that. Okay, I apologize. No. Nataka, you guys do amazing things out there. And it is important when at the end of this show tomorrow we have got 10,000 having watched. They are asking, okay, how can this guy help me in my campaign? How can this guy help me because he runs an institute called TOSSIER Institute. Odhiambo runs after Swift Communication. How about you tell us those things?
Let's start from the gentleman. I think he has a spectacular point.
He said already.
No, let him say again.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no harm.
Okay. Once again, my name is Davis Osiemo. I am number one. I'm a law student. I'm also a founder of a CBO called Every Voice Foundation. I'm equally a civic educator, making my small contribution in society where I can. And then, lastly, is that I help people to achieve financial freedom and dignity by helping them invest their monies.
Okay.
So basically, that's what I do.
All right, great. Let me go to Mr. Mundalo.
Thank you very much, Jagero. My name is Mundalo Advice, as many of you might be knowing. And I'm a political strategist. I'm a communication specialist. And on that accord, I run TOSSIER Leadership Institute, where we basically do leadership and communication consultancy. Because of the one or two things I know about politics, communication and leadership, I can always help you and your team achieve better results. Thank you.
All right. Now,
yeah. Of course, apart from spewing propaganda and spinning it,
is there anything apart from that?
Yeah, which is part of what I do actually.
Yeah.
Just that this one for Ruto.
You do propaganda for pay.
I want you to tell them actually that it is you who made me start supporting Ruto.
No, come on.
It is you who said that, who gave me the brand government apologist. Yeah, because I was giving reasoned arguments on behalf of the government just to sweeten the show.
Maybe, and then they saw the fantastic work you're doing. Started buying new jackets and waistcoats. Now they buy you Versace, whatever. Yeah, lapel. So well, it's good.
You know the challenge with public.
It's good. You gotta find out who owns Weston.
The challenge with public service
yes.
Is that even if you buy a lapel, it's the people's money. That is true.
Yeah, somebody was asking me today, Jagero, you don't look like somebody who can afford Invicta.
Yeah, Jagero is wearing an Invictus on his, and Jagero show them. Show them your watch.
No. I'm a man of means.
So, anyway, what do I do?
Yes.
Of course, I do communication strategy. I'm a communication strategic advisor. I help people with public speaking. That is what I love doing. But most importantly, I run a research firm called Africa Insight Partners, which has Arthur Swift Communication Limited and Angel Michael Researchers together. We do a lot of beautiful, beautiful media work, messaging. We do a lot of campaign planning. We do a lot of campaign management, and there's evidence to it. Thank you so much, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming tonight. I really, really enjoyed this show today. Mr. John Tess, thank you very much for being on TikTok and on cameras. Mr. Frank, for being on the deck. And to the people of the internet, the stars of the show, the people that hold their own, town hall, talk with us, and cheer us along. Sometimes when you're seeing people actually typing and writing, you don't look so much like a madman.
Talking to himself. With one follower.
At least you know that people. And so it is really, really from the bottommost part of my heart that I want to thank you for always gathering here. And for now, good night, and see you tomorrow in the evening. All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is auditor-general.co.ke.